lap times, which indicates personal best for individual drivers all over the place. And of course, that fastest lap from Joe Fowler. Down the inside goes Lovelace on the Trent A kart. Did he manage to get it done? No, he pulled just up short.
It's that ice. Well, it may not still be ice, but it's still a lack of grip on the inside into that hairpin, Andrew. It means a lot of drivers are having to think about it, but then thinking better of it. And that's the right call to be making if there's black ice down there still. But Sam Lovelace decides that there's going to be another opportunity later on.
I think that's another penalty for Birmingham.
Just got to play it careful. They've just got to play it careful. Keep it clean. We're looking at our race leader there, the number 34, Kieran Harrison.
And Fowler's in traffic.
And there's traffic having a bit of a tussle in front of him as well. He doesn't want to get collected in any of that, and that's going to give an opportunity for Harrison just to pull that gap out again and respond to the pressure being applied by Joe Fowler. But he has now got by in that number 1 Coventry A kart, and he's now got a tidy gap over Alistair Senior in that Cambridge A kart as well, as they work their way through the traffic.
A couple of drivers trying the inside line now. You just saw that from the driver in the blue suit. Sorry, I didn't quite catch the number. But the track is definitely transforming. Bit of traffic there for the leaders, which is why they're not setting overly quick times at the moment. There's number 86. It's being lapped by, has had a little moment there, does the driver from York A.
I'm going to take a guess and say it was Felix Connolly in the UWEA kart who was trying that inside line.
Okay. Contact warning for the leader. Now is that second contact warning I've seen for the number 34. They need to be careful here. 3¼ minutes to go. No +1 lap situation in the BUKC, so it's simply time expires and the checkered flag will come out the following time the drivers come over start finish.
That is a fourth track limit warning for Birmingham A.
Yeah,
confirmed. That is not just the graphic re-showing. That is a 4th penalty there. Not had a great time of it, trying to work their way through the field, so they're not actually getting the benefit, quote unquote, of taking a loose interpretation of the track limits.
We talked about it a little bit on the DDMM podcast, Howard, how, and I know there's some unknowns as we go into the lightweight heavyweight split format. I do think the way the BUKC races over the course of the season though has changed. It is almost like a sequence of endurance races segmented by breaks with driver changes in the middle. You know, the teams race for over 14 hours across the course of the 8 rounds that we are going to see.
Yeah.
And I am a little bit perplexed here.
But there are no blue flags, as Andrew says, so they are not obliged to jump out the way of the leaders. It's a bit more of the old school way of doing things with the blue flags, I suppose, for those of you who are familiar with watching Formula 1 blue flag rules, for example. New personal best from Kieran Harrison, though, 1:13.651 as the lap times continue to come down. This has been a fantastic drive from Harrison, getting the Leeds A campaign off to a fantastic start.
Not too many changes at the moment in the top 10. Coventry B have slipped behind Brooks A and Trent A. We are now on the last lap. That caught me out. I saw 1 minute because it's quite a long lap round here at PF International. Can Kieran Harrison close this out for a Leeds A victory? I mean, this would be some results for Leeds A. They have taken race victories before, but to be history makers here, the first ever race winners in the BUKC round, arguably the Premier Karting circuit in the United Kingdom. Through hairpin 2 now. This Leeds team, I've talked about other teams being in their golden eras previously. I think this could 5th, 6th for Brooks A, 7th for Trent A, 8th for Coventry B it should be. Apologies, my timing screen's just frozen for a moment. 9th for De Montfort A, 10th Trent B, 11th Brooks B, 12th for Archie Hobson, there he is, and the Warwick A karts. 13th will go to University of Life, but they are not eligible, so disregard them from the results. There's Loughborough A. They'll take the 13th spot in terms of points in the end. And then it should be Exeter B, Sheffield A, Imperial A, as they come over the line there. Loughborough C. Oh, just getting position there on that last lap. Lucky C getting Imperial A. There's Trent C. Cambridge B coming over the line, top 20 for them. Kieran Harrison's gone round again.
I was going to say, I have to say, when he crossed the line and you called him across the line, he didn't slow down much at all. I was like, has anyone told him? I actually checked the race. I checked the board to make sure the checkered went out. It did, but it was not. It was he was making sure of it. But no, he wins the first ever BUKC race at PFI and the first ever lightweight sprint race as well in the BUKC. So this is the new format that we're doing today. They all have to be at 75 kilos weight-wise. That's the driver and all their
accoutrements,
paraphernalia combined. So the number plate, the transponder that goes on the cart for timing, and any lead ballast that they carry.
There we go. That's race 1 done. We're going to head down to the pit lane now, where I believe Jacob Harris has the drivers for race number 2.
Well, how about that for a first race of the year? We are down here in the pits waiting for Kieran Harrison, Joe Fowler, and I believe Martin Matchak, who are going to be weighed on the scales to make sure that they are indeed lightweights. And then we're going to have a quick chat with them. Joe Fowler up first, and let's double check he's off the limit. He's well over. Joe, another quick chat. I'll let you handle that. Second place, proud of that?
No. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. it was difficult conditions at the start, I'll be honest, but I was fortunate to get a break at the start and get a bit of a gap, but out of the pace at the end, it was really drying out very quickly, and just a bit sluggish, I think, in the dry conditions. But I'll take that. Third place, that's great for the team, so I'll take that.
Cambridge this last couple of years have always been in and around the front. How are we looking for this year?
Well, we've got a very strong team. The hope is to get some race podiums, race wins. It's just getting it all together on the day, really. That's the trouble. So we'll see how it goes. Endurance seems to be a weak point for us, so that's where we're going to struggle, I think. But we'll do our best in the sprints today and see what we can do.
We will keep an eye out for you this afternoon. Thanks for talking to us. And I believe on the scales we have our race winner. Either that or another Leeds driver with a green and black and silver helmet. Kieran. There he is. Come and have a quick chat. It's a fantastic race.
Yeah, it was. I believe I've just been underweight though.
Oh, okay.
1.1 of a kilo. I don't know what that means.
0.1 of a kilo is, I think that might mean that Joe Fowler is the winner. Still a very good drop. 0.1 is, quite close. Result of that race pending these guys jumping off the scales. In that case, Joe Fowler would be winner for Coventry A. And we are just going to give it... The team are waiting for the lead. We'll have a quick chat with Loughborough in just a second. We are on pole position for this next race. Tom Thickpenny loading up first race there from Mr. Ireland. Can you match that performance?
Hopefully. I've got a much better starting position than him. His cart cut out just before the start, so instead of starting 16th, he started last. So if I can match that performance, coming back to 5th, starting on pole should be good.
Has he given you any tips?
I haven't actually had a chance to speak to him, but it looks like he's trying out, and it's mostly dry lines everywhere now.
And there's rumours in and around the paddock that your captain drives a Honda Jazz. Any comment on that?
No comment.
We'll have a word with him ourselves. Tom. Where'd you get the rumours from? Honda Jazz, Tom?
Vauxhall Astra.
Okay.
Big upgrade.
There's been a lot of fake news coming out of the Oxford Brooks camp today.
All the chat, isn't it? But
It is all chat at the minute. So far, Loughborough have finished ahead.
the Brooks all over, all chat and then keep away from.
He's still got his lead with him, so I'm getting... Now, we've had a lot of chat coming from the Brooks social media accounts this morning. A lot of it has turned out to be fake news. Joe Fowler says he doesn't drive a Vauxhall Adam, that's his brother. And Tom Thickpenny says he drives a Vauxhall Astra rather than a Honda Jazz.
I mean, that's not much better, is it?
It's not a lot better, but I'd say it's gone from entirely awful to reasonably respectable.
I wouldn't say respectable.
It's an Astra, it's run-of-the-mill, vanilla ice cream type stuff, isn't it?
I mean, I suppose it's still better than a Clio.
Today, find a few fans of the old Clio. What do you drive?
Fiesta.
So I don't think you can go around saying things about the Astra when you drive a Fiesta yourself. But what year Fiesta?
It's not my choice.
It's not your choice. You're forced to drive it, are you?
I can't afford anything else.
I say forced by society.
Yeah, pretty much.
How are you getting on today, you guys? I saw a few overtakes in the first race for your A and B teams.
Yeah, we seem to make up a few positions, so not too bad so far. Hopefully good the rest of the day.
And what are your hopes for this race?
I mean, hopefully just go forward, you know, not too far from the front, so should be good.
All right, well, all the best for that. I'm going to go grab a quick chat with someone else whilst we're here. If we move further back down, Harry Jones is going to have a quick chat with us. Harry, how's your day gone so far?
It's all right, just a bit cold, you know. I bet you're freezing out here.
Absolutely. I've got Howard's fleece and jacket on. I've got some nice new gloves from Club 100. I like your gloves. They're nice.
Yeah, they're all right, aren't they? They're a bit falling apart. It's a 24-hour, that is. All the grips coming off. So.
You've got quite a coordinated colour scheme here, the black and gold and a little bit of red.
I do try.
You and the kart go nicely together, actually. The boots as well.
You put a poster.
We might do. I'll get Stu Stretton down here now and sort you out.
All right. Sounds good.
Have a good race as well.
All right.
See you later.
Not much, but we'll see. First time here, so...
You'll love it. I tried it last week. It's fantastic.
I'll take your word for it.
Cheers, Harry. A shuffle further down. Try and get someone middle of the pack. I've spotted former heavyweight champion, Henry Jackson. Henry, quick chat. I've just called you former heavyweight champion. It was the year before last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's all right. I didn't want to disrespect you. One word about this race.
Pardon?
One word.
Hectic.
There we go. I didn't catch that, but I hope you did. Back to the commentary team in the box.
Hectic indeed. I agree with that assessment from Mr. Jackson.
Can I just say how nice a looking fleece Jacob is wearing today? I wonder where he got that from. Well, anyway, it seemed the right thing. We're in quite a cushy position here in comms.
We are.
And we're going to give our... Is it our first shout-out of the day to the camera crew out there today? Who are...
Second shout-out.
Second
Give it
shout-out.
again.
We're going to do it all day because they are doing some solid work out there, getting a bit nippy. Not even with the exertion of driving a go-kart to warm them up. Let's take you through a grid for race number 2 then. This is our first ever heavyweight sprint race. The drivers should all be weighted up to 82 kilograms to contest this one. Let's have a look then at the grid. Max Reed will take this one from pole for Loughborough A. Exeter B have their own JB in the kart. Jensen Brown starts for them. Exeter A have Josh Kraft with Loughborough D's Lewis Kerrod starting alongside on row number 2. Row 3 sees David Haynes, experienced driver for Brooks there, taking the Brooks B kart. And then Loughborough B have Matthias Reed Simpson. Row 4 is Sam Johns for University of Wales. Trinity St David A and Sam Munro for De Montfort B. On row 5, we've just heard from him. Hopefully his gloves will last the race. Harry Jones for Newcastle A with Jack Fisher alongside for Leeds A. Brooks D have Callum Porter at the wheel and Joe Davison starts alongside for Bath B. That's on row 6. Row 7 is Sam Stevens for Warwick A and Sam Massey starting for Cambridge A. Row 8 is Rayan Williams, experienced driver there for Coventry A, and Adam Curtis for Leeds B. Moving on to row number 9, we've got Hertfordshire A with George Watson at the wheel. Matas Grigolauskas starts for Coventry B. Nottingham A have Henry Jackson with Stratton Hibbs starting for Oxford alongside to round out the top 20. Row 11 is Bath A's Sam Cornwell, and then George Salthouse starts alongside for Loughborough C. Aston A have Jamil Sheikh Mahmood, and Kingston A have James Woodthorpe starting for them. That's on the 12th row. Row 13 then is going to be Phil Craven for De Montfort. Look out for his lovely multicoloured suit. You can't miss him out there. Queen Mary are starting alongside, but they're not eligible for points in this one. Southampton A are eligible for points, but we don't know who their driver is for this one. Harris Warburton starts in 28th place there for Imperial A. Row 15 is Michael Akiki for Birmingham C, and Masij Jankovic for Warwick C. George Poulter for Sheffield A, and Oxford Brook C's Joe Bleakley is row 16. Row 17 is Ethan Herford for Birmingham B. Manchester Met A's Bradley Caps-Jenner starts alongside, and then rounding out our 36 kart grid on row number 18, Newcastle B have Adam Fleming starting for them. And look out for this one, folks, from the back. Alex Gunn starting for Huddersfield A. Going to be interesting to see how he gets on. That's how they line up then for sprint race number 2. And as we've been saying already throughout the stream, we're alternating between lightweight and heavyweight races. So this is a heavyweight race, and all the drivers will be weighted up to 82 kilos, either by way of actually weighing 82 kilos themselves or by putting lead ballast on the cart. There are 2 lead posts on the carts. Where they fit that lead, they're allowed to put up to 14 kilos of lead ballast on those posts. If they need even more than that, then it has to be via a lead-lined seat insert. So a lot of effort from the teams to hopefully, although we have just seen a team fall foul of this in quite a big way, hopefully the teams have all done the maths right and done the weighing correctly.
Yeah, not the first team to have done that. Won't be the last, but particularly gutting that it means that Leeds A loses a race win. The history books will show that fantastic drive never happened.
Yeah, and you literally saw it change there in the midst of Jacob's interviews, because he started off with Joe Fowler for Coventry. He was like, oh, I should have won that. Well, he has.
Yeah.
he has, because he was the first legal kart from the point of view of the rules to cross the line.
I mean, we're not going to criticise. We've had it ourselves, haven't we, mate, at Birmingham, the infamous Charles Holroyd incident. Morning, Charles.
Morning, Charles. We should have given you a bigger breakfast, mate, on that day.
No, we should have just kept hold of it.
Well, yes. But anyway, we've got... To be fair, though, if that's the most recent infringement from Birmingham, that's actually not bad. If they
Definitely not on the basis of that last race.
They're good at hitting the weight limit. They just need to keep it clean once they're out.
Too much centrifugal force sending them out.
Birmingham A, though, one of the teams not in this race. As we've been saying, each team races in 4 out of the 6 races in this round. To be clear on that one, each team, not each university, as you've been seeing throughout the racing already. Universities can enter multiple teams if they have the driver roster to support such an effort. So Birmingham is featuring in this race. For example, Birmingham B and C are in this one, but Birmingham A is not, and it's the same for many a university. We've got a small number of universities who have got 4 teams into this mains championship this year, which is really an impressive feat in of itself. Drivers to watch, Andrew, in this one. Alex Gunn, as I said, coming from the bat for Huddersfield A. I'm also interested to see how Joe Bleakley gets on for Brooks C from 32nd in this one. In fact, I'm marginally... There's been a bit of changing around at Brooks. I'm somewhat surprised to see Bleakley on the Brooks C team.
I think it's because of they've got quite a few heavy drivers.
Yeah, okay, I get you there. So they can spread that out across the teams.
Just to point out as well, I think Cambridge A have made another change. Unless Sam Massey's running around in Sam Cobb's helmet.
That's a good point. Good point.
So here we go then for race number 2. First one of the heavyweight races.
Joe Bleakley was a voluntary demotion.
Yeah,
fair play. Being told here. Fair play to him. Playing the team game there.
David Whitehouse will pull off 2 drivers left then for the start of this race. Max Reed for Loughborough A, number 2 on pole position. Jensen Brown for Exeter B, P2. Away they go. Don't jump the start. Now that looked pretty good, and Max Reed will take the lead into turn 1 for the first time for the heavyweights. Through up to the Lichfield Bridge then. Clean again as they weave their way through. Some piece of debris being kicked up there. That even might have been a little bit of snow. Yes. Henry Jackson already on the move for Nottingham as they come down the hill now into hairpin 1. Great start for number 5, Josh Craft for Exeter A. Exeter A, of course, had a very strong start to the season in 2019, where for a while we thought they were on for a championship challenge that then faltered. This is a good start here for Craft. Coventry A have a contact warning already as they file through hairpin number 2. I think everybody is clean and still running. Yes, they are.
You can see how much more confidence there was for a lot of the drivers trying the inside line at that first hairpin compared to race 1. We're going to see them up to pace a lot quicker here, I think, as there is a real dry line forming on the conventional racing line as Max Reed is coming under the early pressure here from a fast-starting Josh Craft.
Jensen Brown has slipped back a little bit there for Exeter B, so let's have a count of them over the line. The number 3 of Brooks B is in there as well.
In fact,
they're up to second place. So it's Loughborough A from Brooks B, Exeter A, Trinity A, Exeter B. As up the inside goes Haynes. Great move there as they come onto the Lichfield Bridge. This long left-hander. Well, I did wonder at the start of the day, Howard, of course this circuit, a regular feature on British Championships and even World Championship stage, and drivers like David Haynes, who have a lot of experience from Motorsport UK level racing or owner racing, could come to the fore today. Is this the first example of it? He leads early here on lap 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is an element of that. Sam Johns here having a good start for UWTSD.
4 wide, sorry Howard, 4 wide coming off of hairpin 2. Henry Jackson was involved. You'll just see him coming through your shot now. I just caught that out of our commentary box window, but Jackson, another driver with a lot of experience. Of course, Jacob talked to him on the grid, a former heavyweight individual champion here in the BUKC. So that's him already. That might be him up to about 8th place already. Very good stuff.
Yellows out in the middle part of the circuit, Andrew. That's for the middle chicane. Just want to give a mention to Bradley Capps-Jenner for Manchester Met A in the number 44, up 10 positions on the first lap. And I said look out for Alex Gunn for Huddersfield A as well. He went up 7 positions on the first lap. These guys are going to come into play if they can continue that rhythm of working their way up through the field, as there's a penalty for Leeds B, ABC. That'll be a 4-place deduction for them, and the same has been issued to the number 20 of Aston A.
Let's have a look for Newcastle A. Harry Jones, just seen there in the number 24. He chatted with us earlier in the week. The Newcastle teams were pleasantly surprised. Oh, good move that, and the inside line is starting to work. I think that was Josh Craft having a go on Brooks B. Penalty for Aston A, but no, Newcastle were talking to us earlier in the week. We're very pleasantly surprised at the performance of both the A and the B team at qualifiers in November. The rough moment there for Josh Craft for Exeter A, getting past the number 12.
And wide again, and Sam Johns in that Trinity car. We've been officially told, folks, we're calling UWTSD Trinity this season because it's a bit of a mouthful. So that Trinity A car there, the number 12, Sam Johns will not need a second opportunity. He will be looking for any which way to get by. Efforts there from Max Reed to try and get back onto terms with the top 3, and then there is Sam Cobb in the number 14 for Cambridge and the number 37 of Exeter B with Jensen Brown at the wheel.
Yeah, just going back to Newcastle, and we did discuss this on the podcast as to what they would do with the B team actually beating the A team at qualifiers. They have designated the B team as the main effort for this season. Yep,
smart move given how that fell. They finished 5th on their qualifiers day. As there's a battle going on over second place here into hairpin 2, and it's changed, hasn't it? Sam Johns has got by on Exeter A's Josh Craft. So there's a change there for second.
I've been a good couple of contact warnings for both those drivers. You can just see in the digiboard. Now over start finish, back with them. David Haynes doing a very nice job at the moment for the Brooks B team, but strangely, we talk about B teams being the main effort. That B team for Brooks has been their main effort in the mains championship over the last couple of years, just how it's worked out.
Yeah, such is the depth of talent that they have in that squad. You are starting to get these teams, these uni squads, where the B team and the A team have pretty close to parity, if not more, between those top
almost
two
rivals at times.
Almost rivals at times, but so long as they can work together there, that is. It's important that the squads turn that into an advantage and not start tripping over it themselves. If they can do that, then they become a force to be reckoned with from a championship perspective.
Lap time's pretty good at the moment, but still the track conditions changing.
You can see the change. Interestingly, our timing hasn't updated, but that is definitely set. Oh, there it goes. That was on cue. Well done. Sam Johns taking a completely different line through the hairpins compared to Josh Craft there, I notice. This different approaches, particularly to hairpin 1, just as the track continues to develop its grip. Still the sun beating down here, but don't forget that there's still fairly high winds. You can see the flags buffeting away there. I spoke to Jacob Harris this morning. His top 3 predictions for what may blow onto the circuit was flags, the moon, and small children. So if you're at the circuit, do just
pin them down. Tie them on a string.
Yeah. Oh, and trampolines.
Trampolines.
We
can't forget the trampolines in Storm Kira.
We can't.
Attack of the trampolines.
Josh Craft is here looking for a chance to get back at Sam Johns in that Trinity A kart. Further back, you can see there's it looks to me like Jensen Brown may have just dropped down a little to the advantage of Newcastle A and Nottingham A. So that is Harry Jones in that Newcastle A kart. And who's out there for Nottingham A? It's Henry Jackson, of course it is. Jacob was speaking to him on the grid, so I think they're on the move. You could just see them in the back of shot there.
The controversial move of the off-season, of course. Henry Jackson, formerly of Nottingham Trent.
Yes, that's why I'm not going to... that's why my
moving
head
across
didn't
the
do
river.
that. My head's still struggling to get that, but there is the battle, in fact, coming down the straight now, and yeah, there you can see Henry Jackson. I think that was Jensen Brown getting back past Harry Jones. Indeed.
Number 1 of Coventry A coming into this as well, Ryan Williams. Another one of their recovery. A certain Mr. Whitehouse nearly fell down one of the banks just coming down from the Lichfield Bridge. That would look quite funny, sorry mate. Sorry to call you out there. Here is the battle then for 4th place. And what we believe is Sam Cobb. It looks like a Sam Cobb shaped driver. I know he does like to pull these little stunts on me from time to time. I hope it's him, otherwise I'm going to have egg on my face again. He is challenging Loughborough A and Max Reed for that 4th place. And has got it. There we go. Past, coming down off the Lichfield Bridge. Still side by side. We'll move across and take the lead. Possibly the most experienced man in the BUKC.
I was just thinking
Sam Cobb.
I was just thinking, is there anyone I can think of more experienced than he? And I'm struggling. Can I just give a small shout out, running in 12th place at the moment to Hertfordshire A.
Good to see him
George
back.
Watson, former double champion, former 2-time champions of the BUKC, and it's fantastic to see them back up in the Major Championship of the BUKC. Great to have them back, and good to see them running strongly there in the early proceedings.
I'm also going to give a shout out to Adam Siggs of Edge Hill. He's actually out there at the moment, driving for Queen Mary, illegibly. No points, of course, but in the top 20 at the moment for number 61. Good effort that. We'll see how Edge Hill get on tomorrow in the Inters Championship. We won't be here, unfortunately. We won't be live, but we will have reviews and coverage of that event on the DDMM podcast. Do go to mixcloud.com/Double Dash Motorsport Media to keep up to date with that.
Indeed, and on the day itself there'll be plenty of updates, I'm sure, on the British University's Karting Championship Facebook page. And don't forget, live timing is for every single session that happens BUKC-wise, so head over to live.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC, that is Alpha with a PH. It's the logo at the top, Alpha. alphatiming.co.uk, live.alphatiming.co.uk. Click on British University's Karting Championship. And if you want to review any of the official results, we should say as well, results.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC. We'll see you right there.
15 minutes of this one to go. Second race out of 6 for round 1 of the British University's Karting Championship 2020. It's a battle between...
it's Loughborough C.
Yes, it's all over about 15th place, isn't it? Loughborough C and Coventry B in there as well. Oh, it's Matas. It's my boy. My favourite boy. The fastest Lithuanian in the BUKC, Matas Griglauskas. Damn.
This is going to be a cryptic reference for many, but what is it with you and Lithuanian drivers this year, mate?
I love them.
In amongst
Big
that battle,
Matas.
in amongst that battle, and I think just going down a spot there is the number 20 of Aston A. I think they've just lost out to Coventry B. Now, Aston A are trying to offset, I was about to say they're about to try and offset an ABC penalty, and they've just got another one, as I've said, that for multiple contacts. So this is not the finest day at the races, unfortunately, for the number 20 of Aston A. Jamil Sheikh Mahmood needs to just clean up his act a bit. Yeah, Birmingham Unis, mate.
It's the second city of brought Birmingham City driving standards to PFI. I am not in favour of this.
At the front of this one is still Brooks B. David Haynes doing everything he needs to do for the Brooks squad. 2 seconds to the good ahead of Sam Johns for Trinity A in the number 12, and then Exeter A in third place with Josh Kraft at the wheel for them. Still keeping him honest though. Well, as I say that is a fastest lap of the race from Sam Johns in second place. He pulls David Haynes in by a 10th at the front, but he's going to need to do he's going to need to do that and then some to take the lead back for this one. Still plenty of time to go though. Quite long, we call these sprint races in the BUKC as we're still watching this fantastic battle in the midfield. There's Joe Bleakley in number 11, still working his way up through the order for Brooks C in his blue and yellow suit there. We call these sprint races in the BUKC, but by the standards of regular sprint racing in karting, these are long races. They're often referred to as sprint duros. In fact, there's contact there between Loughborough C and Aston A.
33 cutting across Coventry there, 4 wide coming off a hairpin one. Still lots of contact, getting a little bit argy-bargy out there. The 33 of Loughborough C not happy there with Matas Grigolauskas. For me, that was just a bit of a racing incident. They come through the chicane. Count them through. You've got the number 20 of Aston A in there as well.
There's George Salthouse in this Loughborough C effort, the number 33.
Who's the Brooks D kart, mate? The number 19, because they're involved in all this.
Brooks D kart.
There's Adam Sears racing for Queen Mary. Not scoring points at the moment.
It's Callum Porter, mate.
Thank you. So we'll stick with this battle because it's good fun, this.
Yeah,
and it all confirms itself. So you now have Aston A at the front of this in 15th, and then Brooks D, Huddersfield A, Loughborough C, Queen Mary A, and Coventry B now down to 21st.
And look out for the likes of Alex Gunn and Joe Bleakley. These are the two drivers that we tipped to come through from the back, and they are doing a fantastic job. There in the number 8 is Alex Gunn with his orange and black helmet there for Huddersfield A, and Joe Bleakley, as I say, the blue and yellow suit in the number 11 kart at the back.
Down the inside of Hertfordshire A, 2 drivers there. Alex Gunn is one of them, and I think Brooks D they get through as well. Yes, they did. So Brooks D through. Hertfordshire A now trying to hold Huddersfield A out wide. 2 former champion teams, of course. Huddersfield A took 5 race victories at their qualifier back in November, but unfortunately the other 3 results weren't so good on that day, and they lost out on the win to Loughborough. But up the inside now, Alex Gunn on Hertfordshire A, still there. Look at this pack, and Joe Bleakley's getting involved in this as well, in the blue and white suit with the yellow legs there at the back of this. This is good stuff from the heavyweights. Bleakley sneaks up the inside of another driver, so that's them up into the top 20.
Bradley Caps-Jenner on the back of this pack now as well for Manchester Met. He's been a driver he was the driver I mentioned who made up 10 places on the first lap. He's now got onto the back as well alongside Joe Bleakley, so look out for them as they're still battling away here into turn 3, heading up towards the Lichfield Bridge, and Alex Gunn goes through there on that was on Aston, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, excuse me, it was on the 98. That's
Hertfordshire.
That's Hertfordshire indeed.
And now Loughborough C down the inside of Hertfordshire as well into hairpin one. Good move, that. Really nice move there from Loughborough C.
And what the current grip levels on that back straight, Andrew, meaning they're having to make the move relatively late. They can't pull to the inside nice and early and make the intentions clear. They are having to be a little bit bold there because there's still a damp patch in the early part of the braking zone.
George Salthouse will move on. Meanwhile, just behind the number 98, you've got Matas Grigolauskas there for Coventry B. Joe Bleakley for Oxford Brook C. Matas Grigolauskas pulls to the inside. Sweet move there from Grigolauskas. Hertfordshire will try and fight back. Maybe compromised here. Bleakley, another driver who's driven around here in British Championship and club level many a time, trying to... Adam Sears for Queen Mary not too far behind. And who's this coming into the picture? It's the hashtag blessed number 44.
That's Manchester Met.
Thank you.
That's Caps-Jenner, who I've been we've mentioned.
Adam Sears at the inside of Joe Bleakley there as they come round onto the bridge. Did he manage to get the move done? No. Bleakley held him round the outside. Number 20 of Aston A getting in. This is a great scrap in the midfield. Aston needing to be careful there, nearly running wide. Now side by side between Queen Mary and Hertfordshire A, and surely Adam Sears will have the block pass there.
I do want to
yes, he does.
Sorry, Andrew, I do want to draw attention just to a battle happening further up the road. There's a brilliant battle going on over 6th place at the moment. Henry Jackson is coming under pressure from Rayan Williams. This is Nottingham A versus Coventry A. And Rayan Williams, we haven't mentioned him much this race, but he's been doing a solid job. He's just got past Jensen Brown in the X to B kart. So keep your eyes peeled for the number 9 of Nottingham A, followed by the number 1 of Coventry A. In fact, is it still that way around? I think they're coming through the final sector. In fact, they've just started a new lap. Indeed, there they are. And yes, still Henry Jackson in 6th place in this number 9 kart for Nottingham. And finish at the word Nottingham Howard. I'm still struggling. The move from Trent to Nottingham.
In fact, these guys need to work together at this point. I say that as Williams has a little look down the inside, because they could theoretically catch Cambridge A and Loughborough A not too far up ahead of them.
Well, he heard you immediately, Andrew. He pulled out of doing that move. Thought better of it.
Stop trying to overtake. We should be working together at this stage of the race with 8 minutes to go.
This is to try and get onto the back of our pole sitter for this race. Max Reed still running in the Loughborough A car in 5th, and he himself is with Sam Cobb there in the number 14 Cambridge kart. That's the battle over 4th. They're some 7 seconds now down the road from 3rd place Exeter A.
The gap up to Josh Kraft in 3rd is probably a little bit too big, so I think 4th for all of these drivers is as good as they can hope for in this particular sprint race. There is Cobb for Cambridge A, and Williams has a look to the inside of Jackson again through the high-speed S's. Will Williams have a little look down the inside? Yes, he will on Jackson. Can he hold it round onto the bridge? Just about, still almost side by side. Now he's got through. Jensen Brown has a little look as well. For X to B, penalty for Bradley Caps Jenner and Manchester Metropolitan A. Track limit warning for Birmingham B.
Been such a good race for Caps Jenner. This is not over at all, but that's 4 places to be deducted come the end of the race.
Howard, I can't help but notice there's a little bit of precipitation on our commentary box window, and there are clouds rolling in. Howard's going to have a little check on our weather source as to what's going on in the vicinity. 7 minutes to go. Apparently it's snowing.
I'm still not
I don't
convinced.
quite believe that. It's very, very light. It's probably the wind is so hard, it's just blowing the snow. It's melting the snow.
It is. It's obliterating
the friction of the wind in the air is melting the snow.
Although that is a sign, by the way, it is bitterly cold out there.
Yes.
For the drivers today, when they're all preparing for these races, getting all the equipment together, lugging around all that lead ballast. It's made all that little bit harder when it's blisteringly cold.
We've never driven around here, mate, but we have driven in conditions like this. This is this annoying level of rain where you will see it on your visor and you'll think, oh no. But the grip, it's not coming down hard enough at this precise moment to probably be affecting times. Yeah, they're still up in the 112s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether that's still going to be true in about 3 or 4 minutes' time remains to be seen. But this really is a test of a driver's bravery and skill.
Not sure.
There is Joe Bleakley and Matas Griglauskas pulling away now from Adam Sears. I think there was another penalty out there, or was that a repeat showing of the same penalty for Manchester Met?
You read my mind, mate. I was just wondering. No, that was a re-show for Manchester Met. I'm not sure if we covered that Oxford have got a penalty as well for multiple track limit warnings.
Rayan Williams closing in on Max Reed now. Coventry A on Loughborough A, with Cambridge A not too far ahead as well. The wind's building, I think, as well. I can hear that through our cans. That's how loud it is. Whoa, number 61 from Warwick running a bit wide there, out of the final corner. And Jensen Brown's going to have a look at Henry Jackson. There's a shake of the head there from Jackson, and Brown is through. Mistake there from Henry Jackson. Don't often say that, but that's how tricky it is out there. You can see him squirming for grip all over the place as Williams is trying to find his way past some of the traffic. Coventry versus Warwick, that's a bit of a local rivalry.
It's closing up at the front, Andrew. David Haynes has lost 3/10 on that last lap to Trinity A. This could be building to quite the grandstand finish towards the front as the rain is still coming down.
Heavier. It's definitely getting heavier. Slippery surface flags out as well as Max Reed has a little look at the inside of Sam Cobb there. Rayan Williams might try and get the drive off of hairpin 1. He's got him. He's got round the outside there, but Max Reed is going to fight back. We're having a look at Henry Jackson here.
Exeter have just got second on the road out there, Andrew. That'll be confirmed on timing when they next come around. So that is Josh Kraft finally getting back past Sam Johns to reverse the move done earlier on in the race.
There is Williams through and past Reed. Will Williams try and make the move on Cobb? 4 minutes of this one to go. Oh, Williams nearly running a little bit wide there. Into the horseshoe and through into the final S. So Exeter A confirmed, as you say, Howard, up to second place. Track limit warning for the number 19 of Brooks D. I'm hearing from our cameramen, rain bags on cameras 4 and 5, so it's definitely coming down if they're having to do that out on circuit. 4 minutes of this one to go.
It's a very long circuit, Andrew.
Yeah.
It can be the case that it's very different weather at either end of the circuit. This is an extremely elongated track layout. As we continue to watch Sam Cobb.
Josh Kraft is absolutely flying here. He's closing in on David Haynes. We've not talked about Haynes too much as Williams tries to go to the outside of Cobb into hairpin number 1. This is exactly what he did on Reed a couple of laps ago, side by side, but this time I think Cobb's just going to hold to the inside and hold the position there. There's the number 13 of Southampton A. We've not talked about them too much in this race, but they're on the attack now.
We don't know who's in that cart. Oh, yes, we do.
Langley. It's Kurt Langley-ish.
Is it it looks like Diego Martinez's suit with Kurt Langley's helmet.
Interesting.
Just going to throw that one in there.
3 minutes of this one to go. Oh, another penalty for Manchester Metropolitan.
Wow. Lead gap down 1.2 seconds on the last lap, Andrew. We've got to pick up our leaders here because David Haynes is under extreme pressure. I think they're coming in onto the Litchfield Bridge now.
No, they are coming over the Litchfield Bridge, coming down towards hairpin number 1.
And this is serious pressure. Here we are. Haynes in the 3 cart, the number 5 of Exeter A behind, and then there's Sam Johns in the Trinity cart. But this is closed right up here at the front. We're going to get a nice close finish amongst our top 3. Just looking who that cart is behind them. Is that a cart without a number plate?
It's number 18 with an Rye number plate. Obviously someone's not attached a pin correctly. The eagle-eyed amongst you may notice that there is a new feature on some of the carts. GoPro cameras now in front of the number boards. In fact, brilliantly shown there by David Haynes, the number 3 cart. As Club 100 moves to be part of the full Motorsport UK family. Very excited about that. Here ourselves at Double Dash Motorsport Media.
Yep. Do some good moves using this technique throughout the race as well. But look at this, Sam Johns has been able to judge that brilliantly. He's got himself alongside for Trinity against Josh Kraft there, and he's going to get the job done, but the rain is still coming down and the wind is still picking up here at the circuit. Has that given the breathing space that David Haynes needs to hold on, or is Sam Johns now going to mount the challenge as we head towards the start of the final lap?
Yeah, one more lap to go then. David Haynes, another very experienced driver, has raced for Brooks for a good number of years. Can he hold on here for what would be a big win for Brooks B in the context of this round?
Last lap
having a little look there at Trinity A. What a strong drive it has been from each of these drivers as Haynes gets a massive moment there, and that almost offers the opportunity to Sam Johns to get up the inside, but Exeter A are fighting back now. Josh Kraft really wants that second place back. In fact, he wants more. There's a number 54 just ahead of them as well, which is going to be a back marker. That's Birmingham C. Michael Okeke fighting now for second place. Johns goes defensive. Can Kraft get underneath? That's really well defended from Sam Johns. This is all playing into the hands of David Haynes to take the victory for Brooks B. He's just got to navigate his way past Okeke. He does so, and Michael wisely will just hold out wide and let Brooks go through. That should be it. That should be the win now, because Johns and Kraft will fight all the way for second place. They're going to have to cut to the inside of Okeke. Okeke holds around the outside. Brilliant stuff. David Haynes is going to win this race for Oxford Brooks B. A brilliant victory, a calm victory, a classic Brooks performance. Here he comes round the final corner. First win of the day, and a sigh of relief there for David Haynes. He takes race 2, and on the line it's Trinity A and Sam Johns who takes it by less than a tenth of a second over Exeter A. Fourth will be Rayan Williams, so Coventry A did get past Cambridge A towards the end there, and a battle over the line between Jackson and Harry Jones there. Well, how did that finish? I think Nottingham just held it, so it's Coventry A 4th, Cambridge A 5th, Loughborough 6th, Exeter B 7th, Southampton A 8th, Nottingham A 9th, and Newcastle A 10th. Brilliant race, that one, Howard.
Yeah, we've been treated to two absolute corkers to get the day started. As there's
Look at this three over the line.
There's a little ruckus there between Loughborough B and Leeds B. That's them battling over 25th place, which provisionally at least has gone the way of Loughborough B by 65 thousandths of a second for those who are counting. I just want to pay tribute there to how well Sam Johns was defending on that last lap. You saw on the approach to hairpin 1, he defended to the inside, but he defended to the inside of the dry line. He sort of went, I'm not going to cover fully to the inside. You could see him position himself just to the right of where the dry line was on the basis of, well, Mr. Kraft, if you really want to risk going out on the damp stuff, wetting your tyres and then running wide in the hairpin, be my guest. But he knew exactly where to position the car, and it meant by the time they got to the braking zone proper, he was just able to control that. Really well played there by the UWTSD driver. And yeah, what a brilliant race that was. And we're going to say provisional congratulations based on what's just happened in race 1 to David Haynes. But you would hope, although I'd also hope this for Leeds, it has to be said, that a squad with the experience of Brooks has familiarised themselves with the new rules, that these drivers must be weighted up to 82 kilos for the heavy weights. But great start for David Haynes and for the Brooks B kart. In the end then, Huddersfield A, that's one of the teams he said to look out for, got themselves up to 14th place. Brooks C, Joe Bleakley got himself up to 17th place. So good drives from then. We are ready to hand down to Jacob, who's looking ahead to race 3.
We're on the floor, right? We're good? We're here. Okay, we're here down in the pits with David Haynes, the winner of the first ever BUKC heavyweight race, or at least heavyweight championship race. How does that feel?
Sick. Yeah, really good. Never thought of it like that, to be fair.
Well, you've written your name into the history books. I'm not sure who's going to write a book about this, but your name will certainly be there. I'm midway through a kind of BUKC-themed crime thriller, but it's fiction rather than non-fiction, unless certain murders transpire today. Obviously, your first win of the season in the Brooks B team. The B team, as Andrew and Howard have mentioned, has kind of been the front runner almost for your university the last couple of years. Is that like to continue?
Hopefully, yeah, because I mean we beat the A team at the qualifiers, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Bit of trouble from these two gentlemen towards the end. Were you ever worried?
I could see them sort of slowly catching like the whole race, and then when the back marker got in the way down at Complex and they were properly on me, I thought like I was going to have a fight from there on, but I guess those two started fighting and I got a bit of a gap again, so thankfully.
I think that's what saved you on the last lap. Thanks for talking to us. I'm going to have a quick chat with them. Sam, I'll chat with you first. Close but no cigar.
Yeah, it started to rain halfway through and kept on making some mistakes, so he just, every time I did, he just got a bit ahead of me. We were catching me and, don't know, Josh, that's the one. But we just kept on making mistakes, letting Gareth go ahead, so.
Decent battle between the two of you, though?
Yeah, it was good. I think it would have worked better if we worked together to catch Gareth, but he had very good pace, and once we had the slipstream, it was game over, really, so couldn't do anything about it.
Well, thanks for talking to us. All the best for the endurance race. Josh, you had good pace, and as Sam said, a good battle with himself, but ultimately not enough to catch the front.
No, it was kind of, I got into second quite early on, then dropped back again to third, and then kind of, it was just kind of the waiting game, like staying in the slipstream, catching up to the leader, and then I made a move on the leader, a couple laps to go, and I'm kind of stuck on the outside, which wasn't great, but still a good race.
And we've addressed this off camera already this morning, but no Mr. Karting for you this round.
No, he's sorely missed today. He's supporting us back home. He's going to come back next round stronger.
We'll see him at Buckmore, will we?
100%.
Thank God for that. Josh, thanks for talking to us, and all the best for the rest of the day.
Cheers.
Those are your top three from Sprint Race 2, the first of our heavyweights. The rest of our heavyweights are just being weighed now for compliance. The new weight minimum is 82 kilos, so the heavier drivers get a chance to battle out amongst drivers who are a similar weight to them. We've had a few comments, feedback complaints maybe even that these new Rotax engines don't carry the heavier drivers quite as well as the old TKMs did, and so in the interest of fairness we've introduced this new lightweights and heavyweights system. See how it goes this year. BUKC often sometimes the guinea pig for Club 100. This time it's basically the other way around. We've always had lights and heavies in Club 100 and even super heavyweights in that, but that was a bit too much to bring in to the BUKC format. So we've got 3 lightweights and 3 heavyweight sprint races. Let's check in at the scales to make sure there's no crosses on the sheet. Couple of circles around there. We're going to check in with Adam Sears. Adam, your first race in mains, was it?
Yeah, I was driving for a different team though.
How'd you get on?
I think okay. I was battling with a few people that I recognise the names of, so that's a good sign.
Did you enjoy it is the main thing?
Yes, but I'm very tired.
Very tired. And you're back with it racing with us tomorrow, am I right?
Yes, yeah.
How's Edge Hill looking this year? We don't really talk about inter-teams much on the stream.
Like 50-50. We've got some really good drivers and some like average drivers. 61.
Really good drivers and some average drivers. That pretty much sums up the BKC in general, really. Plenty of lead on there for Adam. Thank you very much. We've got 5 drivers to go. Max Reed's here from pole sitter. Max, dropped down a few places there.
Yeah, it wasn't the best race, but not too bad. 6th place. Could have been worse. Was just trying to stick with people in the tow in the wind. It makes such a difference. The slipstream into the headwind down the home straight.
Thanks for chatting. I'm going to grab Ryan Williams. Ryan, an excellent drive through the pack, and that one from yourself.
Thank you, yeah. It was a little bit slow at the start. I thought I had a rubbish first few laps, but afterwards started to pick it up. It's really difficult out there to sort of stay consistent because the track's just constantly changing, so you don't really know what you're doing. But
okay. Any comment on the rumours that Henry Jackson might be transferring to Coventry at the end of the year?
Who told you this? Because I haven't heard that.
Well, it's all come from the Brooks Instagram story. We had lots of fake news from them previously, but apparently you're the bookie's favourite.
It sounds like fake news, but Henry Jackson's a good lad, so we'll give him a hug if he comes.
You overtook Henry in this race. Do you rate his talent?
Yeah, definitely. I've raced with him a few times on track, and he's always mega quick no matter where he is. Got good craft.
All right then. Well, that one's for you, betting fans. Put your money where you think is wise. Coventry is a possible destination for the BUKC journeyman Henry Jackson. Ryan, thank you for talking to us. So that is sprint race 2 over and done with. We finally weighed all the drivers, as you can see behind here. Any underweight? No, everyone complied with the new weight regulations of 82 kilos, which is fantastic. No one trying to cheat. Let's see who we've got lining up for sprint race number 3 then. And who have we got here? Let's squeeze in under here. We've got Bournemouth, a new team to the BUKC. And do you want to come round and have a quick chat? So who have we got here? Rory for Bournemouth University.
Yeah.
First year in the BUKC proper this year. How are you guys finding it?
Yeah, it's good fun. This is all a new experience for all of us, so we're just here for a bit of fun to see how we get on and hopefully gain a bit of experience from it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you look like you might have been karting before.
Yes, the others haven't, but I've done a bit of karting in the past. Nothing like this, but I've done more of the British Championship stuff.
So have you been to PFI before?
I have been to PFI a few times. Yeah.
Is that why you've taken the pole position?
I did, yeah. I discussed it with my team and I asked very kindly if I could take pole and they agreed to it.
Do you fancy your chances then?
I'd like to think so, but there's some good drivers here, so we'll see how we get on.
All right then. Well, hopefully I'll be chatting to you at the end. You made sure you led it up and up to 75?
Yeah, we're all good.
All right then. We won't have a repeat of what happened in race number 1.
No.
All the best, and hopefully speak to you later.
Thank you very much.
There we have a new team, Bournemouth, lining up alongside an old team. And someone who did very, very, very well last time we were live streaming, Mr. Matthew Taylor. He's just screwing on his fuel cap, and I'm certain he'll come and have a chat with me. Matthew, you can quickly say hello.
Hello, Jacob.
Redden's here. He's a graduate, so he's not going to get an interview. Matt, the title is BUKC Super Champion, is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Pretty smug about that. And here you are in, is this the C team?
A team.
A team. I get confused with the numbers and they're being in the wrong order.
1, 2 and all that, aren't we, you know? Too low, this.
So we've had a bit of a chat about all the fake news coming from the Oxford Brooks Instagram story. There's also a GIF on the Facebook group last night saying that you guys are going to score 1, 2, 3, 4 today. Is that going to be this race?
I'm not sure who we got in this one. I think I might be the only one in, so maybe not this one, but yeah, we got the D team, but that's it. 1, 2, 1, 2.
So when is that going to happen? Was that like a one race or a one round thing?
I believe it wasn't myself, but I believe if we did it, it'd be an over a round. However, it doesn't look likely now because the C team and D team are the best races, but
you get drop scores. You never know what might happen.
You never know. We'll see how it goes. Seeing how many people are coming in underweight and whatnot. So.
Well, no one in the last race, so.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
We shall see. Thank you for chatting with us. I'm going to go and find someone else to have a quick chat with. Who haven't we spoken to today? Let's wander through to the middle. Kyle Morby's dodging past me there. We haven't had a chat with Nottingham Trent. Fraser, I'm going to have a quick chat with you first. You're usually behind the camera on a live stream, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm normally behind the camera. Not today.
How are Nottingham Trent getting on? I saw they were running strongly in the first race.
I think it was 9th and 10th first race, so it's not bad, not bad. Yeah.
How are you finding the newfound responsibility of being team captain?
Stressful, especially when they don't listen to me.
I know how you feel. Who have we got in the car now?
We've got Aaron, Dante, and Ed down there, so we've got 3.
Let's have a quick chat with Dante, because Dante won at qualifiers, didn't he?
Chat to him, he's quick.
Let's jump in on Dante's car. Dante, hello. Quick chat. We got better acquainted at qualifiers when I gave you a big hug for winning.
Yeah, it was really good. Qualifiers went really well. Obviously today it looks like in front of me got quite a few tough drivers, so this will be a very interesting race.
We've got a few experienced drivers towards the front. Our super champion Matt Taylor on that side of the grid, a new driver for Bournemouth at the front. Have you been to PFI before?
I've been to PFI before, yeah. Last time I came, I've been about 3 times. Last time I came was 2 years ago, and it was completely snowing. So very different conditions today. Just want to get used to it as quick as I can.
All right, well, I'm sure you'll do very, very well and keep Nottingham Trent's strong day going. I'm going to go ask Mr. Whiting where his transponder is.
Yeah, go and ask him.
Dom, where's your number plate? Where's your transponder?
Well, I'm supposed to be part of the Union Live team. I don't know where anyone is, so yeah.
Awful, awful stuff. Let's move further back down the grid and have a quick chat with Nathan Little of Brighton. Nathan, we're missing the number plate and transponder down there, so we might be a while getting going. How's Brighton's day going?
Pardon?
How's Brighton's day going?
So far we've done 1 race and we came P2, P3 on the road, but I believe Leeds A in the first race was underweight.
You were indeed.
So Martin finished P2, which is great, first in Clublands, which is our class. So yeah, it's going really well. Hopefully I can stick around the top 10 and we can have a really good day, maybe get on the Clubland podium. Yeah, that's the goal.
I'm sure you'll manage it. You're a good driver.
Sometimes. No, I'm feeling quite confident. I definitely learned a lot over the last season, so I'm feeling like I should be a little bit further up the grid this year. So yeah.
Nathan Little there of Brighton University. Right, engines are started. The cars are leaving the grid. Time to head back to the commentary team, Andrew and Howard.
Thank you, Jacob.
I'm loving that Stinger tune.
It is good.
We are
one, that.
bopping in the comms box right here.
Don't say that, they'll cut through this next time we do it. That'll be embarrassing for everybody. And it'll be on that big massive screen over by hairpin number 1.
Oh gosh, yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
We're getting ready then for race number 3. So this is the second appearance of some lighties. Same story again, 25 minutes. Winner gets 60 points for the round.
Indeed. And we've got a new uni to the BUKC starting this one from Poland. In fact, should we go through the whole grid?
Yeah, let's go for it.
We heard just then from Rory Hudson of the Bournemouth squad, who are starting this one from pole, the most experienced driver on the Bournemouth squad. So we'll see how he gets on leading from pole, and he's got the super final champion, the Drivers' Championship super champion, whatever we want to say. Matthew Taylor, he's very good, starting alongside for Brooks A. Uni of Life starts from 3rd, they're not eligible for points. Lucas Sullivan starts alongside on row 2 for Brooks D. Then it's Dante Dillon for Nottingham Trent A and Alex Megginson for Leeds B on row 3. Row 4 sees Will Dowling pilot the Hertfordshire A car with Edward McDade alongside for Nottingham Trent C. And it's Nottingham Trent B, indeed, who will start us off on the next sheet, because it's Aaron Pretty starting for Trent B with De Montfort B's Gabriela Martinez de Luca rounding out the top 10. Nathan Little, we just heard from him there, starts for Brighton A in the number 22 kart, and he's got the Trinity B kart of the number 49, Callum Evans at the wheel alongside. Huddersfield B have Gary Mangan starting for them. Loughborough D are starting alongside on row 7, but we don't know who's driving that one. Newcastle A's Aaron Leishman starts in 15th with Trinity A's Ryan Davis alongside. Moving on to row number 9 then, it is going to be, shall wait for you all to enjoy it with me, it's going to be Max O'Shaughnessy for Exeter A with Scott Van Breda for Bath B. Oliver Basie Fisher for Birmingham, we'll tell you about him in a moment, with Matthew Graham alongside to round out the top 20 for University of West of England A. Ocean Bache could be one to watch, starting for Manchester A, and he has York A alongside with, I've got James Rowan here in front of me in the box, but the graphic suggests we maybe have had a switch there. Aaron Walsh is next for Huddersfield A, and then it's Udavir Singh for Warwick C on row number 12. Row number 13 is going to be Warwick B with Toby Hogg at the wheel. Matthew Tomlinson pilots the Manchester Metropolitan A effort alongside. Swansea A have Alex Rees, and there's Eleanor Lopez La Rosa for Brighton B on row 14. Row 15 to round out the top 30 is Ben Bruce for Nottingham A, and Kingston A's Justin Schulson. Queen Mary A and Bath A make up row 16 with Alexander Darcy starting for Bath A. On row 17 it is Zane Katrine Menes for Coventry D, and Tom Obi, experienced driver, starting for Aston A there. Cambridge B's Angus Brett is taking the number 81 from 35th, and then Southampton A are alongside, but Southampton have been very naughty today and not let us know who's in their card, so we can't tell you. We'll try and work it out, although they did do a very confusing challenge for us in the last race, and we still don't know who that was, so we'll see how they get on. I imagine they may have plunked for someone rather experienced to try and work their way up through the field. Let's talk about, were you going to talk about Birmingham?
Yeah. We love the social media. We love the gram, the Instagram, because we're hip and cool like that. At Double Dash if you want to follow us. At UBMRC as well. They've done some very nice profiles. They're not the only team to have done it.
No.
But this one I particularly enjoyed. Ollie Basie Fisher. Very experienced driver, used to race for Reading, race winner here, but unfortunately he's getting a bit old. And quote, doing a Masters in Computer Science at the moment, that my talent is receding faster than my hairline, and that's saying something. Well.
I think we...
Good luck, Ollie, starting from 19th on the grid.
We like self-deprecating.
That's the word.
Humour, not self-deprivation. That's not so good.
That's not good.
Self-deprecating humour is
goes a long way.
Goes a long way, and he is one of the good guys of the paddock, isn't he, Ollie Basie Fisher? So it'd be interesting to see. And heck, to be perfectly blunt about it, mate, Birmingham A do need a good one here.
Yes.
After they weren't in race 2, were they? But they had a bad one in race number 1.
Words have been had. I just dropped a little text to the captain.
And here we are.
Hello. I have had a response back. What he said is not broadcastable, ladies and gentlemen, so I will not read it out. Right, this is going to be an interesting one, this. This is another one from the previous event where I've been here before and it snowed and it looked like Rally Sweden. Quite a few drivers who were at that event are out in this race.
Yeah.
Max O'Shaughnessy, Dante Dillon. Very, very interested to see how they get on in this one.
Yeah, and look out for those common themes we've seen already. Folks taking more and more confidence. You can see the damp patch just to the right of your shot there, bottom right. That damp patch is still a danger on the approach to hairpin 1. It's forcing drivers who want to make a move to either brave it out on that damp surface or to make a very late move. Look out for that common theme, particularly on lap number 1 here. Looks like they've now got good grip though through the early part of the lap, Andrew, and over the Lichfield Bridge to me. So getting more confidence there for certain.
If we hadn't mentioned already, it has stopped raining. The wind is still blowing. I'm very worried about Stu Stretton because he is a very brave man. He is stood on the gantry, which I'm absolutely sure is engineered correctly, but it is moving and he is stood on it.
Yeah.
braver man than me. That's all I'm going to say.
I went up there earlier
Do
to
follow
try and
Stu
take
Stretton on Facebook and all the social media. Brilliant photography that he does for the BUKC and many kart clubs around the country. We are getting ready for a race, though. This is race number 3 out of 6 for sprints, round 1 of the BUKC 2020. Second race for the lightweights. Rory Hudson on pole position for Bournemouth A, making their debut, and that's a very good start from Hudson as well as they cross start finish. Away we go then for race 3. Very good start as well for, I think that's the Union of Life kart, Dom Whiting straight through. And if he's going to be at the front, we kind of disregard him in terms of points, but yes, he has taken the lead early on here as they all file through under the Lichfield Bridge yet again and now go across it. Another very clean start here, Howard, as they go through down to hairpin number 1.
Yeah, so you say that, there's someone right off into the grass there and coming back on track now just at the back of your shot. That was a fun excursion for them. Here we go into the first major braking zone of the lap, and we've got a spinner there in the mid-pack, but they've been righted to start up again. I'll keep my eyes peeled for who that was as they come through hairpin 2. It looks to me like it was the 103 of Nottingham Trent C. Edward McDade, I think it was there. Had a bit of a sideways moment through hairpin 1, but was helped by his peers to point the right way again, albeit in a robust manner. Still Don Whiting at the front there for Union of Life A, and it's Matthew Taylor who's managed to get up into the top position that counts, and he's going for the top position no matter what counts now, and gets through up into the lead of the race. And he's now, Andrew, if he can keep it this way, he's kind of got a rear gunner in the form of Don Whiting, because, well, he's not eligible for points, but he's still physically there for the other drivers to get by. Rory Hudson, though, has had a good start for Bournemouth. Yes, he has lost the first place that he started with, but still holding well there in third place. As there's a penalty for De Montfort B. That's Gabriela Martinez de Luca, and that's for ABC. No, it's not. So, yes, it is. But ABC penalty also issued to York A in the early proceedings of this race.
Thank you to Mr. Harris down in the paddock, working ever hard. He doesn't sit back and relax whilst the races are going on. Yes, confirmed because it was Diego De Luca in the kart for Southampton A last race. It's Isaac Channing now in for Southampton A, so we'll keep an eye on them. This is good start for Taylor.
Yeah, good start for Dante Dillon as well. Oh, as we've got an incident here at hairpin 1. 3 karts involved there. It is the 13, the 50 and the 85, if my eyes don't deceive me.
13 is Southampton A, who we've just mentioned. The 50 is Brighton B, so a South Coast clash there. Which was the other number, mate?
I thought I saw 85, but it may well have been an 86 of York A. I don't think we have an 85,
okay,
so I think that was York.
We'll confirm it as they come over start-finish. End of lap number 2 then. Oxford Brooks A lead from a University of Life kart that is not points eligible. So it's Bournemouth A effectively in second place, Trent A third, Brooks D fourth. Newcastle A having a strong one here in 5th, and up the inside there. Was that a Huddersfield A kart going past Leeds B?
It's Huddersfield A and Exeter A getting past Hertfordshire A, I think. We may have seen both, actually. We may have seen Hudders getting past Leeds B and Exeter A getting past Hertfordshire A for 9th as well.
Penalties coming in. De Montfort B, York A and Coventry D all have ABC penalties. That'll be 4 places, a 4-place drop at the end of the race relative to wherever they finished. Yellow flag out at hairpin 1. Who's that?
It's Coventry D.
It's Coventry D. So Coventry D not having a good race at all.
Oh, and that's spinning out. And that's Ollie Fisher. That's highly uncharacteristic there. But that was a spin out, and that was a scary moment for the marshal, actually. That is extremely uncharacteristic, and that is another blow, Andrew, to Birmingham A's campaign.
Well, this is turning into a horrible. I know it's still early stages, but a horrible season so far.
He's also come to a stop.
For Birmingham A's, just waiting to safely come back on the circuit. Is everything okay with Basie Fisher? I'm just looking at him out the window.
To me, that waited for longer than he needed to for a safe entry there, Andrew. He waited until the field had gone past.
Oh, challenge for the lead out on circuit. And I think Whiting has got through as I'm looking out the window and coming down towards hairpin number 1.
No, you're absolutely right. Don Whiting, here they are approaching hairpin 1. So the 111, that's the Union of Life card. It's 110 or 111 throughout today. I know the number doesn't quite match up with your timing towers. Now, Union of Life is a team that are allowed to compete at the discretion of the organisers, but they are not allowed to be eligible for championship points, as there's still yellow flags out at hairpin 2 for recovering that Coventry D car that's just received a penalty, but I don't think it matters that much. Here we are with another points ineligible driver in the form of Oliver Wedden.
This is great. I didn't think we'd ever see Ollie racing at the BUKC again, but here he is.
Yeah.
The driver who, the last time we saw him on one of these BUKC streams, was winning his final ever points-eligible race for Loughborough A at Wilton Mill back in April, and it was enough to make them runners-up in the championship that year. I think there is quite a significant issue for Coventry D because they have not got going again. The driver is stood by the marshal post on the inside of hairpin number 2. Changed for the lead out on the road at least. Taylor has got back ahead of Whiting.
Yeah, Ollie Wedden, as I say, not eligible for points here in the Loughborough D kart, and under pressure from the Manchester A kart of Ocean Beach, and also the University West of England A kart, which the number 55, which has Matthew Graham at the wheel. He did up until a moment ago have the fastest lap of the race, but that has now gone the way of Huddersfield A's kart, the number 8 effort, which I've gone and forgotten who's at the wheel of that one in this one. It's Aaron Walsh, who's had a great race so far to get himself up to 6th, having started 23rd on the grid.
We should pay a bit of tribute to UE because they had a very good qualifiers, promoted their A team up into mains, and so far this morning they've been more than holding their own here. As you say, did hold the fastest lap in this particular one earlier on. Everyone after this race will have competed twice. So we'll be able to give you an update from the spreadsheet of doom after this race. But 23rd in the first race for UEA, not bad.
So you'll have just seen on your screens there when we had a shot of hairpin 2, the Coventry D are now performing a kart switch at the side of the road, which means they'll be able to keep on going. But obviously it goes without saying that that has been a hammer blow to their race effort. They'll now be well down on the field.
Sorry, Howard. Coventry D's issue is a track rod. I can see a track rod being warped to the now stricken kart, which Nicky Richardson's going to pull back, but that is what's held up Coventry D up so long. They are going again now, but they are a long way behind.
Matthew Graham for University of West of England A with another fastest lap. He has some really good pace here, and I think he's the first driver to dip below the 1 minute 12 mark with a 1:11.996.
So Redden's gone straight on.
That's really odd. So did he collect a damp patch there?
Yeah, I think he just lost his braking. And
doing the right thing now, waiting, I think, to pick up where he came off, lest he get a penalty.
To be fair, I know that looks quite bizarre, but that's very considerate driving from Ollie Wedden, because lesser drivers competing for points could have creamed into the back of the Brighton A kart there. Yep. So I think Ollie recognised, oh dear, I've had a moment here, I don't want to take anybody out, I'll just have my own little incident. Well done, Ollie. That's how non-points eligible drivers should conduct themselves in my book.
Indeed, I can't agree more. And there's an interesting question brewing at the front of the race with regards to that, because Don Whiting is right on the back of Matthew Taylor again, and you just get this sense, Andrew, that Rory Hudson is going to wait for any opportunity here.
Change for P10, UEA through past Brighton A on the run into turn 1. I don't think we quite captured that on the cameras, but I just saw it developing. We're looking at, there's Max O'Shaughnessy in there for Exeter A. Side by side, this is for 6th place with Huddersfield A, and just behind them as well, Leeds B and Newcastle A fighting here. Aaron Leishman driving for Newcastle at the moment. Yellow flag still out for the recovery of what was the Coventry D kart. 17 minutes of this one to go. Penalty for Loughborough D for cutting the track. So that is the non-eligible Ollie Wedden. Yes, he did cut the track, but they ineligible, that won't matter too much. He could have done a lot worse there in my book.
So Dante Dillon now under pressure from Aaron Walsh in the Huddersfield kart. The battle for 5th place between Trent A and Huddersfield A. That's one to keep an eye out for. In fact, that's all changed round as I said it, because Dante Dillon's dropped down to the back behind Ocean Beach in that Newcastle A kart now for 8th place, and that's all changed there, as there's another fastest lap from UEA's Matthew Graham, who's having a great race out there.
This is nicely hotting up here. We're 10 minutes in, there or thereabouts, and the top 10 is covered by 6 seconds.
Yep.
And the leaders aren't particularly pulling away.
No, absolutely.
Got to give credit to Bournemouth, though.
Oh, yeah.
First time
brilliant.
we've seen them in the mains championship. Rory Hudson, effectively 2nd place at the moment.
Yeah, spoke to Jacob before the race, did Rory, talking about how he's the most experienced driver on the Bournemouth team, and he asked, can I take the pole position? I kind of support that if you're a new team in the BUKC. Go for the glory, get the early stuff there, show the, bring that team together around a really cracking result. and it can spur on the rest of the team. I think that's the right way to play it for now, at least. Maybe, you know, later on in the championship they put him towards the back of the field to work his way through, but for now, try and get some nice big point scores on the board is no too bad a way to do it. Brooks D running strongly there in fourth, trying to stay in touch with this top three. Lucas Sullivan at the wheel there.
Fastest lap from Max O'Shaughnessy on the move. There he is, number 5 for Exeter A. He's got past Huddersfield A now and pulled clear of the number 8 cart.
And that means he's now coming up onto the back of Lucas Sullivan. So Lucas Sullivan there in the number 19 cart. Still got a bit of breathing space, you could just see in that shot there, but it is pressure being brought to bear as there's a penalty racing under yellows for UWTSD A. Now that's got to be for this hairpin 2, which is still neutralised, by the way, because they can't really recover that car. They're struggling to do so. And I think they are now going to try and recover the kart formerly of Coventry D.
Well, they are in they were in 35th place anyway, so it's not going to mean too much. Although, ironically, it could promote Coventry D up a spot, even though they are 3 laps off the next kart ahead of them.
Very true. Sorry, I mean, they just say they are now recovering that. They're going to try and pull up through the break in the wall on that. No, they're just going to take it sheepishly through the hairpin. So drivers just needing to exercise caution through that middle part of the lap. Here is the battle for 8th place, isn't it? Nottingham Trent A have just got themselves back up into 17th, so it's Dante Dillon in that car ahead of Ocean Beach.
Alan Leishman still in there.
Excuse me,
Newcastle A.
Indeed, not Ocean Beach.
And the very impressive drive here from UEA, Matthew Graham in the number 55. And Leishman ran wide there and is going to lose 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 positions here. That's a big mistake from the driver in the Newcastle A car, who is going to fight back side by side. I love these hairpins, they race so brilliantly.
Leeds B in amongst this as well, aren't they? That's Alex Megginson for them there.
And Brighton A. Brighton having a strong day so far. Martin Matchak raced very well in the very first race of the day. And Nathan Little, another driver who's a good level of experience underneath him now in the BUKC, on the outskirts of the top 10. Still very, very close out there.
Yeah,
we're at the halfway point.
We are indeed.
We had a momentary flutter on timing there, but it's still Taylor out front ahead of Whiting, I think, just
by 8/100.
This is the thing, they work together. You mentioned it earlier in the race, Howard, that Whiting is, although he may not know it, acting as a rear gunner now.
Yeah,
for Taylor. He's doing the wise thing, just sitting there, not getting too racy.
The gap I want to bring... Oh, bad change there. I could just see into hairpin 1. Sorry, Andrew.
Sullivan and O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, O'Shaughnessy has just got through and then Sullivan came back. So this is Brooks D versus Exeter A, just coming through hairpin 2 now and onto the straight ahead of the middle chicane. We're slightly further back.
down the inside of Trent A. Great move there from Matthew Graham. Gets past Dante Dillon into hairpin number 2. So that is now UE up to P7.
Yeah, and Ocean Beach for Manchester will now have a go at Dillon in that Trent A car. This is cracking. I'm very impressed by UEA here, I have to say. Really good drive by Matthew Graham so far. Just fantastic pace throughout the race. But yes, there is also the battle going away over 4th place.
The thing is, they very much went under the radar at qualifiers, because at qualifiers we talk a lot about the teams that are just trying to make it into the 54 that compete in mains. And to be honest, UE, although they may not have expected it at the start of the day given their seeding, is up the inside of Dylan went Bache there, and Bache comfortably got that move done. UE strolled into mains quite comfortably in Clubman's. I think they were finished about 20th, so they're never really in danger. But this is the point at which they really start to show their talents. Yeah. They're in the mains now, not needing to worry about ending up in Inters this year. They really are growing into this championship so far.
Yeah, we did just see in the back of shot as well as they started this lap. Nathan Little in that Brighton A car in the Leeds B car, excuse me. No, Brighton A, I was right the first time. Under real pressure from Aaron Leishman in that Newcastle A car. Tried a bit of a move into 3, but it didn't quite pay off for Leishman. So keep an eye on that battle as well between Brighton A and Newcastle A over 11th place. Extremely close at the moment. As still a good battle going on over 4th place between Brooksby and Exeter A as well. Let's see if we can pick up one of these for you around the circuit. Lucas Sullivan just coming out of hairpin 1 now. Has just put a lap, Andrew, on Birmingham A.
Is that Lucas Sullivan?
No, it's not Lucas Sullivan at all. I just saw a green helmet and assumed. That was extremely sweeping of me to make that assumption.
Number 12, it's Ryan Davies of Trinity A.
Who has, he's got a penalty, hasn't he, to be applied. Yeah, it's not gone well for Trinity, this one. I'm going to try and style out that mistake.
Sorry, not Trinity. That wasn't for a lap at all, that was a position.
No, it was. Now Lucas Sullivan is coming out of hairpin 1, hairpin 2 even, excuse me, and into the chicane in the middle of the circuit. Defending against Exeter A, who's just had a penalty for multiple track limits, so that has not gone well there for Exeter A. For Max O'Shaughnessy, he was having a strong race, but he is going to be demoted now. A couple of places come the end of the race. This is not a battle for position, I don't think.
It's the 95 Coventry D car that's actually recovering from being 3 laps down. And pace is not bad at the moment.
I was going to say, fair play to keep that one going. But the battle is just going to come through now, this battle. There is Matthew Taylor and Dom Whiting at the head of the field. Then comes this battle over 3rd place, because they've got past Bournemouth at some point. I don't think we covered that.
Yeah, and Exeter A got past Bournemouth as well, just going onto the bridge. Boom, first black flag of the day, if I'm not mistaken, has gone to York A for an ABC bump and pass.
Oh, mistaken, we had a black flag.
Oh, did we?
Very start of this race, and I can't remember who it was for.
Apologies. First one I've noticed anyway.
Yeah.
Black flag there for York A, that'll take him out this one. This is the battle for the lead on track, but just to remind you that the 1-1-1 is not eligible for points.
I do want to say as well, we did have a mechanical flag for Brighton B as well. I'm not counting that as that black.
Yeah.
But they've had to pull into the pit, so that's upset their race as well. Here we go though. Just about to head into the 8 minutes left mark. Matthew Taylor has driven brilliantly here and has used Dom Whiting. Saying he's a fantastic rear gunner, and he just had a look back there, and Dom gave a little signal to say no, let's keep working together. New fastest lap of the race on 1:11.178. There's a penalty for multiple track limits for Warwick C. They've got to be careful going round. Lucas Sullivan now fairly clear in 3rd place, and there's a change there for 4th place as Max O'Shaughnessy has got by Bournemouth A's Rory Hudson on that lap, but Rory Hudson is still a net 4th because of the penalty to be applied to Max O'Shaughnessy's Exeter A effort to come the end of this race.
Just having a look at some of the scores that we will have at halfway. A lot of teams, a lot of our usual teams, the Brooks teams, your Loughboroughs, your Huddersfields, Exeter A, have all nicely positioned themselves at the early stages of this first round of the championship. If you've just joined us, and if you're new to the BUKC, remember the sprints round for round 1, 6 races, each team races 4 times, best 3 points scores, best 3 finishes count towards where you finish in round 1.
I just want to pick up on the story that I think is developing coming towards the end of this one. Huddersfield A's Aaron Walsh, and the man, for me, the driver of the race for UWEA, Matthew Graham. They are catching up onto the back of the Exeter-Bournemouth battle over 4th place. That is going to be one to watch because they are closing up rapidly, taking about half a second a lap out. They've both each had the fastest lap of the race. 1 lap it was UEA and 1 lap it was Huddersfield A. So we need to keep an eye out for that. In fact, is this... yes, there is Aaron Walsh in the number 8 there, and he's got...
They've got past Bournemouth.
They have got past Bournemouth already. They've already done it before I can even tell you it's a story that's developing. Fantastic drive from these two. Another drive for Huddersfield A coming up through the field, and as I say, Matthew Graham in the 55 there, for me the driver of the race so far. He's just been setting so many fastest laps. He's been the first to find the pace out there as the circuit's been drying out, and he's at the moment on for getting a cracking result for UEA.
Yep, and we should give a bit of mention to the clubmans as well. If you're on live.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC, if you're not and you've got like a tablet or second screen or whatever, do pop that resource on, it's very useful. Clubman's is hotting up as well. That's going to be a wide open battle as we go through the course of the I say the rest of the morning. There's only 35 minutes of it left. This first round will go into the afternoon. As here comes Matthew Graham up the inside, can't quite get the overlap there on Walsh. So it's still Huddersfield ahead of the University of West of England, based down in Bristol.
Coming up onto the tail of Max.
Now he's up the inside.
Lovely move there as they come into, are we calling it 3 or 4, that turn onto the bridge? It's kind of the second part of 3.
It's a big 3.
It's a big
curly 3, and then 4 as they come back down.
That was 3.5 that he went by then. He's going to have to go defence. No, he doesn't have to go defensive to hairpin 2. He's confident enough to start attacking Max O'Shaughnessy in that extra A kart, and they're all catching up onto the back of Lucas Sullivan again. They're starting to reel in the third place Sullivan there, who is also your highest placed clubman runner, by the way. We should mention that as well.
Curb warning for Trinity A. Another great race, this one for Trinity A. Track limit warning for Matthew Graham in number 55. Less than 5 minutes of this one to go. You're watching live coverage of the British Universities Karting Championship here from PF International in Lincolnshire. Andrew Mather, and here comes Graham up the inside of Max O'Shaughnessy. Goes for that position. Can he get it done? Oh, it squeezes a little bit, but now he's got it done. Walsh will have a look up the inside of O'Shaughnessy as well as they come through turn 3 and over the top of the bridge, and yes, he's got it done. That is a crucial move there from Huddersfield A, who do count themselves as a potential championship challenger this season. They've not quite had the consistency so far this year in the qualifiers and in previous seasons as well. We know their drivers have the pace. Let's see what number 8 kart can do here in the remaining minutes of this race. Well, who's the next kart up ahead? It's Brooks D, isn't it?
It's Lucas Sullivan.
Far.
No, they are really
They work together. That is a gap between 3rd and 4th that could be closed.
Yeah, that was. We just saw our leaders getting through on some traffic. I think there is Lucas Sullivan. We just saw his green helmet. Always reminds me a little bit of Lucas de Grasse's helmet.
Yes.
For those who are familiar, those who are helmet spotters, a sort of similar colour scheme. But there is the gap. But bear in mind that already Matthew Graham for UEA, he's in a net 3rd place. Because Uni of Life don't count. So from a point perspective, he has managed to get himself up to 3rd place. From, where did he start this? He started 20th on the grid, mate. This is the kind of drive through the field that we tend to attribute to, the driver he's with, Aaron Walsh. We would always say, look out for him. This has been a fantastic drive from Matthew Graham for one of our clubman teams. And it was great to see UEA back in the mix, I have to say. Longer standing supporter of the BUKC that they are. I can remember, this is going to be really niche, but I can remember a test day for the 2014 season. The only team I've ever seen turn up with a J team. I kid you not. I think they just decided they were going to do all their driver assessing at one event.
You know when Jacob was talking about someone writing a book about the BUKC, Jacob, the man who's going to write it, is stood right next to me. 2 minutes to go then in sprint race number 3 for round number 1. I should say, if you haven't already, on Facebook, do give a like to Alpha Live, providing the pictures and the stream here for you again today. Brilliant work from them as always.
Another fastest lap for UEA. Just amazing pace, and he's now right onto the back of Lucas Sullivan here. And this is something that counts in the subclass, the clubman subclass, because this is for your clubman subclass lead, effectively, in this race. So that's going to be another thing to bear in mind here. And there's traffic coming into play. The number 35 there is Warwick B, who I think, I wonder if they were the black flag. There's definitely one at the start.
Multiple track limit penalty for Newcastle A and Aaron Leishman there. So that's not good news for the team from the northeast. 90 seconds to go. Can Sullivan hold on here from a charging Matthew Graham, who has a little look there? Oh, it's another penalty for Exeter A.
Multi-track limits.
For multiple track limits. So Max O'Shaughnessy will have to review that and recalibrate himself perhaps before coming out of the endurances in round number 2, which will be later this afternoon. One more lap to go, I think. Yeah, surely. As they come over start finish. Yes, last lap board is out.
I feel like we've barely spoken about our leader in this race, Andrew, but it is Matthew Taylor for Brooks A, and he's been doing a stellar job to hold this one, but he's had that support from Dom Whiting. It's been great. Look at this, defensive though, from Lucas Sullivan from Brooks D over this 3rd place. Here they come heading towards the hill. There goes that! And that was Aaron Walsh. It was Aaron Walsh in Huddersfield A on Lucas Sullivan of Brooks D. Huddersfield making contact there with Brooks D, and that's put Lucas Sullivan out to the side of the road, and he is gutted by that. And yeah,
I'd like to have another look at that one again.
As well.
Now, the crucial thing is, because it's the last lap, if that's adjusted to be an ABC takeout, that will be -1 lap for Huddersfield A, but we'll get to that in a moment. We're waiting for Matthew Taylor to win again in the BUKC. Here he is coming into the horseshoe now. Last couple of corners brilliantly supported by Dom Whiting, who, I've got to say, this is probably one of the best drives I've ever seen from Dom Whiting.
Yeah,
Racing Club 100. It's a big shame it doesn't count, but Matthew Taylor will take the win for Oxford Brooks A. Dom Whiting finishes second on the road for University of Life, not eligible for points. Brilliant drive from Matthew Graham and the University of West of England Bristol. They finish in second place. Third will be Huddersfield A, but I think that will be investigated at least by the stewards as to whether that move on Lucas Sullivan was legal or not. For what it's worth, Exeter A finished fifth on the road. Brilliant response. Rory Hudson, Bournemouth A, was looking a little bit shaky in the middle of that race, but in the end he's sixth on the road. Seventh for Manchester A, eighth for Trent A, ninth Loughborough D, 10th Brooks D. So Sullivan still held it in the top 10.
Big one this, Andrew. Aston A there come across the line.
Now let's have a look at this again.
Okay.
So Graham's already got the move done. Aaron, I don't think... I think you're going to get a penalty there, mate.
I don't think the space being there was not... It was not a dead cert that the space was there, was it? Because already Sullivan was on the inside. It was a closing gap.
I think Sullivan leaves him room, though. For me, he leaves him racing room.
No, I agree. I agree that he's left enough space for there to be racing room. I don't think that there was a gap opening up there for Walsh to pull the move. It does mean that Matthew Graham finishes third for UEA, effectively second, which for me is
good result. Very good
driver of the race for me personally. That was great stuff. There, I just want to give a shout out though to Aston's battle on that last lap with Southampton A. Tom Obi there was side by side through the hairpins, and then Tom Obi held on to what turned out to be 21st position round the outside of the first bit of the chicane in the middle part of the lap. I was transfixed by that one whilst Andrew was calling the winners across the line. So great battling all the way throughout for race 3 of round 1 of the British Universities Karting Championship for 2020. Even though it's round 1, don't forget we had round 0 effectively at the qualifiers. But let's head down to Jacob to get the driver's thoughts on that race and ahead of race number 4.
Down here in the pits, we've got a man who finished third place. Third. So we've had a few black flags. You need to be a kitty. This is how things work. You drive around for 25 minutes, then everyone else gets disqualified, and you finish top 3.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that's a good result then. Because to be honest, I was slightly starting to struggle near the end. I think as the race calmed down, people started to work together and just had a bit more top end than me. So I was being slightly caught out, but I was fairly happy with the race.
Did you enjoy your first BUKC race?
Yeah, it was enjoyable actually. I enjoy this whole competition, and yeah, it's been good fun so far.
Brilliant, thanks. We're glad to have you, Rory.
Thank you for having me.
Right then, here's our winner, super champion Matthew Taylor. Matt, you were pushed hard by our Union Life driver Dom Whiting there. Feel the pressure at all?
Yeah, like I'll get away, and then that'd win down that straight. He'd be like large miles behind, and suddenly he was behind me. I was like, oh. So yeah, had to make sure I got just enough of a gap so he couldn't get me down the end. But he started pushing me at the end, so we managed to pull away from the rest, which was helpful. So yeah.
PFI as a track, best BUKC track we've been to?
I like Butmore, but PFI, I'd say it's one of my better tracks, but I always have bad luck at PFI and my TQM because I always seize underneath a bridge and go into the wall. So yeah, I love the track, I just don't like when you crash here, it's not fun.
Alright, thank you for talking to us, and all the best for the afternoon. We've got Matthew Graham. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot your name, but I'm not used to talking to you on the live stream.
Oh, well, yeah, I think that was a great race, honestly. From 20th all the way to, I think, top 4?
Second place.
Second place, okay. Yeah, that was a great race. Had a decent start, I just kept working my way through the field. Had the pace, definitely, but I was starting way down there, so yeah, I just had to go and send it. Yeah.
And send it, you did. Strong showing from yourselves, the number 55, obviously intermediate team last year. What can we expect to see from you this year?
I don't know. Let's just aim for that Clubman title, I think. I think that's all we can think about at the moment, and get some more decent results for the rest of the day.
Who are you sharing an endurance with later?
Felix.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think he'll be decent.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
No, I think I'm doing a start and finish stint, so I'll try and work my way forward as far as I can before I swap around. Yeah.
Thanks for chatting with us, and all the best of the afternoon.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks.
One of our newer drivers there, Matthew Graham. Fantastic race. We've got something going on at the back of the pits, not quite sure what, but the drivers aren't coming in. I think they're on a little bit of a telling off about track limits warnings, but they should be filtering into their carts momentarily. Let's, if we make our way back down to the back of this grid, we've talked to a few people at the front, but hopefully those at the back will filter in quicker as they are all waiting in this Parc Fermé area. Maybe at least we can have a chat to those at the front of the queue. Provided the camera keeps in signal, of course. We are going quite far with this, and technology is not as magic as you might think. Let's dive straight in here with Stephen Howes of Brighton. Are we good, Darren? Are we good? I think we're good. Stephen Howes, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you doing, Jacob?
Not too bad. A little bit of a cold today, but I'm powering through it.
I better not be coronavirus. I don't want it.
Oh, no, it's not.
In Brighton now, haven't you?
Is it?
Yeah.
Have you got it?
No, there's a whole halls closed down in Sussex.
Didn't know that. Are they trying to keep it a secret?
A little bit, I think.
No one you've been getting with, though?
No. Not me.
You're on the Brighton team I should be avoiding?
Just Golin.
I avoid him anyway.
We all do.
Where are you starting in this race?
P9, so it's not too bad starting position. Hopefully progress up a little bit and hold it there. But it'd be nice to see what a heavyweight race is like now. Not done one for a while, so should be nice and interesting.
Well, race 2 is certainly very competitive. No one came in underweight either, which is quite surprising considering both the lightweight races have had people disqualified for various reasons.
Yeah, we off that. We had Martin finished P3 on the road, and then first place for half a kilo underweight or something like that, and we got P2.
I believe it's 0.1 of a kilo.
Oh, yeah. There's no risk of me and Nathan being underweight, that's for sure, though. I think we'd have to lose a limb to be underweight, but...
Yeah, I'm in a similar situation. So Brighton's Day going well so far then?
Yeah, it's going pretty well so far. We just had Elena, who's our rookie driver, like new driver. She's still getting to grips with it, but other than that, it seems to have gone pretty strongly so far. Happy with how we're going.
I'm glad to hear it. I hope you have a very enjoyable rest of your day. I'm going to go over and talk to the Kingston guys.
Awesome, thank you. Cheers, Jacob.
And just slide in here past Andreas. We've got our guys from Kingston here. Andreas, I'll start with you. How's Kingston Day going?
It's mixed bag of results today. Getting used to the track. Never been here before. We missed the Thursday, so it's alright. Could be better, could be worse. Well, it's alright.
And say it quietly so you can't hear. You got any confidence in Jericho at all?
Hopefully he just doesn't beat anyone and doesn't kill anyone. Apart from that, it should be fine.
Let's talk to the man himself, Jack. Your first championship race for Kingston.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Absolutely, yeah. New team, new year. Really keen to get back on the track.
What can you bring to the Kingston team? What have you brought with you from Aston University?
I don't think Kingston's yet have a kart that's gone upside down. We're not going to plan to do that, but you never know.
All right, thanks for chatting with us. I'm going to hang around at the back by here, actually, just get out of everyone's way. Darren's kind of lost in the crowd, unfortunately. So we'll pick on whoever jumps in this cart. No volunteers so far. Fraser's definitely he doesn't want to talk to me. For those who missed, Aaron Walsh might have got a penalty in the last race, and I think I've just told him, so he's not too happy about that. We haven't spoken with Bath yet today, so I'm going to pick on these guys as soon as they've put the transponder on. We've got Ewan Clements fixing that in place and getting his glove on. I'm not sure he knows I'm stood behind him waiting for an interview. He'll soon see me though. There he is. He can hear me. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad. It's a bit new for me. Never been to PFI before, but I'm looking forward to it.
I had a lot of that today. Are you having a nice time?
Yeah, it was a bit wild on the track walk this morning, but it seems to have cleared up a bit, so fingers crossed.
And how's Bath's day going?
It's not too bad. We had some good races. Just had a fab one from Alex Darcy for the A team, so we've got James up the front for the A team again this race, so we'll look for some good results. Hopefully a good sprint morning.
Do you reckon you can get a good result in this race? First heavyweight race that you've been in so far?
It's my first mains race, so I'm just hoping to have a clean run and try and be sensible and not get into too many incidents and see where I end up. Hopefully still in the top 20.
You've got West Country rivals Yui just in front of you here. Do you know Corey at all?
Is that Corey? I raced him at Buckmore last year in Inters and I beat him. So we'll hope for another run and we'll hopefully have a competitive run. He's a good guy, he races clean. Hard but fair. It's the way we like it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for chatting with us. And Harry seems to be lingering around your car. I'm not sure why. Harry's looking for car number 21. I'm going to talk to Harry, actually. Well, actually, I better let him find his cart. We're missing one, apparently. So let's just jump over to the other side of the grid, see who we've got here. Aaron Leishman is here. Aaron, quick chat. You were in amongst the action in that last race. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, I got a bit battled and bruised coming off the bridge and then going into the first hairpin, because obviously there's no grip, so you just slide out wide and just end up getting bumper to bumper with people. But apart from that, it was all right. It wasn't too bad.
You're having a lovely time.
Yeah, cold time.
It's freezing cold, but as long as you're enjoying yourself, that's the main thing.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. We'll have a quick chat with Exeter as well. Let me just dip in here. Ryan can have a quick word for the live stream. Mixed fortunes for Max in that last one. Josh had a great race earlier. What can you do?
Just basically try and make places. I think first lap's going to have to be quite bold. So see what I can do.
You've been here before, haven't you, man, in a suit like that?
Of course I have. Yes, it's a great track. So was here last weekend actually. So yeah, I know it quite well.
What were you doing here last weekend? Getting a little bit of practice in?
Yeah, just in a road tax, having a bit of fun. So yeah, getting practicing.
Some might call that cheating.
No, it's not cheating. It's just commitment, really.
All right, I like that. I like that. You have a good race. I'll speak to you afterwards when you win.
Cheers.
Let's have a chat with Birmingham. It's not been the best of days. Jake's going to have a chat with me. Jake. What's going on?
Hello mate, how's it going? You alright?
What have you been doing in the Birmingham team?
I have not been driving, so you can ask those guys. But I'm sure I'll do the same thing, so it's alright.
Andrew and Howard are not happy.
I'm sure they're not. Sorry Mandy.
You're going to make up for it?
I hope so. I mean, I'd like to move forward and not backwards, but that seems to be the running theme of today, so we'll see.
We're having a little bit of a running theme on the stream, actually. Personal cars and the worst one. What's the worst car in the Birmingham garage?
It's got to be the worst and the best, but it's probably my 1.2 turbo Twingo, and it's got a nice little dump valve attached to it, so it sneezes when you change gear. It's nice and fun.
I can't believe you drive a Twingo.
I mean, the Ibiza I had before sort of was a bit too expensive to run, so downgrade. But she does the job.
Surprising how bad the BUKC drivers' cars are, really.
Yeah, the majority of them are pretty crap. But
Jake, have a good race. We're going to vacate the grid, apparently, because the next race is about to begin. We'll have a quick chat with someone further down at the front. Let's see if I can pick someone out. Yannick Brandt is having his first race in mains. Yannick, quick chat on the live stream. It's your first time on here. What can you show us in this first mains race for yourself?
Starting sixth, so it's going to be a good fight for the lead, hopefully, and stay in the top 10.
And you're in the heavyweights class. Do you think that'll give you a little bit of a competitive advantage, having raced at 75 kilos previously?
Yeah, it should be maybe a little bit of an advantage, but I think it'll be a very close race.
Well, all the best for your first race. I'll speak to you afterwards.
Thank you.
Yannick Brandt there, one of 2 eligible drivers for Queen Mary. That whistle means it's the start of sprint race number 4. Carts are on their way out. Andrew Howard, back to you in the comms box.
New theory.
There's no point having a nice car in Birmingham because you'll just get hit. My old Fiesta that I had when I was a BUKC driver can pay testament to that.
I'm going to resent that remark, even though I don't. Anyway. I'm from near Dudley. I don't know why I'm sticking up for Birmingham. But
Let's go for a grid. Southampton A have pole position for this one. Pascal Pook on pole for them. Jonathan Collins goes for Cambridge B. Row 2 looks like this. Daniel Cohen for Aston A and Lewis Ryder for Cardiff D. Row 3, James Breamy. He came in like some crazy guy for Bath A and Yannick Brandt for Queen Mary A. Jack O'Toole, please don't flip upside down, mate. Goes for Kingston A. A bit of a story about an old Kingston A member in a bit. He starts on row 4 alongside Stefan Kessler for Nottingham A. Row 5, Stephen Howes returns for another BUKC season, driving the Brighton B kart. Jeremy Todd goes for Swansea A. Ben Davis goes for Manchester Met A and Chris Miles for Warwick B on row 6. Row 7, Edward Boswell for Warwick C and Sam Tern for Huddersfield A. Row 8 is York A with an unknown driver and Jack Burgess for Manchester A. Let's move through the rest of the midfield then as we go on to row number 9. Corey Richards goes for UEA. Jake O'Sullivan goes for Birmingham A. Row 10, Ewan Clements starts for Bath B, last year's Inters champions alongside Ryan Luscombe for Exeter A. Look out for him coming through the field. Harry Farnhill, a race winner in the BUKC in years gone by, starts P21 for Trinity A. Ben Allendon starts alongside on row 11 for Newcastle A. Luthbrook D, unknown driver for them, alongside Jack Hodges for Huddersfield B on row 12. Row 13, Jeffrey Ellis for Trinity B, Nathaniel Gollin for Brighton A, who are currently your leaders in Clubman at the halfway stage of this round. Christian Bessel goes for De Montfort B on row 14 alongside Scott Jeffs for Trent B. Roberto Pereira goes for Trent C alongside Ethiopia. De Silva for Hertfordshire A on row 15. Sam Middleton and Sam Pooley go for Leeds B and Trent A respectively on row 16. And then at the back, Brad Butcher goes for Brooks D alongside a University of Life driver on row 17. Piers Packard Walsh starts from the back of the grid for Brooks A. 35th on the grid, Dennis Danilov goes for Bournemouth A. Thank you very much, Mr. Luke, for a very quick grid there, because I want to talk numbers, I want to talk what things look like after 3 rounds. We have tweeted out this from the Spreadsheet of Doom on Twitter, at Double Dash MM. Do give us a follow and tweet us your questions using the hashtag BKC2020. Coventry A, currently your leaders. They've acquired 117 points from their first 2 races. Brooks A are second on 116, Cambridge A are third on 114, Exeter A fourth 113, and Loughborough A fifth on 112. Clubman, Brighton currently 7th overall on 110, UEA after that brilliant race in race 3, their second highest Clubman on points at the moment on 97, 17th overall. 18th overall, third place in Clubman is Trent B on 96. Hertfordshire A, very nice, 4th place at the moment in Clubman, 21st overall on 94. And another new uni in terms of we've not seen him in a while, we've not seen him ever. Bournemouth A are currently 5th in Clubman, 22nd overall on 93 points. That is your Spreadsheet of Doom update at halfway through round 1.
Lovely stuff. We're going to go into another heavyweight race then. This is another one where they have to be weighted up to 82 kilos. I want to talk crosswind.
Can I tell my Kingston story very quickly?
Oh, go on, yes.
I've been chatting to Sam Wrighton, who's graduated, one of our drivers who's graduated. Hello to all the graduated drivers.
Hello.
Hello to those of you especially who are at work. It's all right. It's okay. You can power through this. We're here, the support group that takes people out of the BUKC and into the horrible real world.
Are we the best ambassadors?
Not really. We're still here 5 years later. Sam's joined us. He's a JLR person.
He is.
Same as us. I was chatting to him yesterday. Kingston looking forward to today. And to quote, if Kingston A win Clubman's, he's going to run around Caden in his pants. Please don't do that, Sam. Human resources really, really don't like that kind of thing.
did he just say whether it was going to be the JLR site or just the village of Gaydon?
Or Aston Martin's bit. Now, they really wouldn't like that.
No, anyway. So, I do want to talk about...
Double Dash Motorsport Media does not condone running around any form of engineering site in your pants.
We do not.
Yes.
We do not. I do want to talk about... This is a terrible segue. I want to talk about wind. I want to talk about wind because I think it's perhaps the strongest, or at least whilst we were forming up then, the strongest. The gantry, we are confident it is perfectly structurally sound, but it is buffeting. It is buffeting in the wind. The start gantry, that thing that's quite solid and made of metal, is buffeting in this
stood on it
wind.
anymore. He's gone, no, I've got my shots for that angle.
No, well,
that's
we
all I
might
need to do for today.
We possibly need someone to stand as a dampening weight. I don't know if they're going to, that was a general reference to anybody, by the way. I'm not saying it has to be Stu. Stu has probably taken up some fantastic photography position, as he is often inclined to do, and he's very good at it as well. But yeah, really, where they are now, it's a tailwind. When they get onto the start-finish straight, heading the other direction, it's going to be a mighty headwind for Pascal Pook to deal with here as they're coming around to finish what we imagine will be the final formation lap. So actually, there's a few people out, aren't there? Yeah, it is quite quick. Well, David Whitehouse is giving the symbol to just calm down, which tends to be a symbol that this might be going underway. Pascal Pook then on pole for this one in that Southampton kart, the number 13. Jonathan Collins alongside for Cambridge B. They have formed up, I think we are good for a start here. It's race number 4 of round 1. Myself, Howard Mitchell and Andrew Mather on comms duty for you here. Our second heavyweight race of the day. And here we go. It does look like we are good for a start here. David Whitehouse will pull the pusher cart over to the side, or the pace card I should say. Eyes on the lights, engine notes rise, and we're away for race number 4, and it's a good start from Pook there, and it looks to me like Daniel Cohen is going to try and follow through to second for Aston A as well. There's a little bit of, and there is spinning at the front. We didn't see what led to that, but there's multiple karts involved there. I can see the Queen Mary A, Yannick Brent.
Corey's got a puncture. Corey's got a puncture front left.
Gone. So that was, maybe that is what provoked that to all kick off there towards the front of the field. But Pascal Pook has been able to hold on to this one through all the chaos, and it's Aston A's Daniel Cohen who has indeed followed through to second place, as they're now so much more confident into this first hairpin of the race. We will have a look as there's a spin there further down the order. That looked like it was I think I saw the number 96 there, or maybe it was 98 for Hertfordshire. Keep an eye on that one as we come to the end of this lap. Through into the middle chicane they go, and there's more drama at hairpin 2. This is the scruffiest start that we have seen, although potentially with a puncture or so it might be beyond driver's control. There's the number 60 stricken at the side of the road, that being Warwick C's Edward Boswell there, but it is Pascal Pook who's going to lead them through the final sector to finish this first lap in the lead. So it is Southampton A leading, Aston A in second, as everyone backs off for the yellow flags that are out here for the karts that are still stricken there. Who did we say? Yeah, no, there we go. My time is just about. Southampton A lead, Aston A in second, Cambridge B in third, Bath A in fourth, Kingston A round out your top 5. Those who have had a drama there then, Warwick C we saw at the side of the road, and UEA is the kart that's still off at the side there. Corey Richards, as Andrew said, with some kind of puncture, we think, on that kart to put him off at the side of the road. So it's after a really strong effort in race number 3. It's an unfortunate start here for University West of England. So it's a race-destroying one here for University West of England A.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for Corey. He's a very, very good driver, but he's almost like the Mark Webber of the UEB-UKC team. He seems to have all the bad luck. I think that puncture was as a result of contact, but not contact that was his fault.
Big movers on lap number 1. Dennis Danilov for Bournemouth A from the back up to 23rd place. 36th to 23rd. And also Brooks A and Trent A, they're up 19 and 17 places respectively on the first lap. So brilliant stuff from those two teams. Who's in the Brooks A kart on this occasion? Nottingham Trent A is Sam Pooley, so great start for him.
And Pooley's just made a move on Brighton B, so that's a good move there for 9th place. This is a change for the lead. No, yes, it is. Aston A to the front. Aston A have got past Southampton A. Pascal Pook tries to fight back into hairpin 1 up the inside. Can he get the block pass done? Very nicely done, but here comes Bath. Here comes James Breamy, trying to make the move. A winner in qualifiers races in the past. He's going to try and go around the outside through hairpin 2. He's still holding in there.
3 wide.
Brilliant stuff here at PFI. 3 wide into the chicane, and it's Aston A going to hold out in front of it. Cambridge B still coming through as well. Then out to second. There's a mechanical flag out there for Queen Mary A, but what a fantastic bit of racing here in the BUKC. That is just what it's all about.
Daniel Cohen leads them for Aston A. Brilliant stuff there. He's been opportunistic since the start, Andrew. He was right onto the rear bumper of Pascal Pook at the start as well, and managed to get himself immediately through to second ahead of Jonathan Collins. But Jonathan Collins has now got himself back into second place for the Cambridge B effort, but he's now under serious pressure from a charging Stefan Kessler for Nottingham A in the number 9 card. It's Piers Packard and Walsh who I was wanting to give credit to in Brooks A. There's contact there, and that's round. That is round there for, and who was it?
It's
from
Jonathan
the top?
Collins.
It was
Cambridge
Jonathan.
B. It's Cambridge B. I think they got tapped there. It is a tricky section. There's a cone penalty out there for Trinity A. This is getting all very robust out there.
Noah's Ark across the bridge there, Andrew, 2 by 2. Look at this. Nobody quite knows whether to attack or defend. This is really exciting stuff here.
Sam Turn coming in there for Huddersfield A. Great little move there on James Breamy.
It's allowing Dan Cohen to get just a bit of breathing space, though, for Aston at the head of this field, as it's the number 9 now in second place of Stefan Kessler. He's had a great couple of laps, and then Pascal Pook in third for Southampton.
Well, let's see if this one calms down. I don't think it is. Up the inside goes the number 17 of Trent A.
That's Sam Pooley.
Sam Pooley coming through. And Stefan Kessler looking in there as well for Nottingham. So the 2 Nottingham City based universities working together at this precise moment of affairs. Pascal Pook is having to defend very hard for Southampton A. He's now got Huddersfield A's Sam Turn not too far behind him. Also coming through, Exeter A, the number 5. Where did they start?
Well, Exeter A, this is it, Andrew. Some of these drivers have had an amazing start. Ryan Luscombe started in 20th place. He's told Jacob he got some practice last weekend. I think it's paid off. But a big mover is Piers Packard and Walsh for Brooks A is in 4th, having started 35th.
Yeah, and there he is, the number 7. He's picked his way through brilliantly on a day when Brooks have come into this event with a lot of confidence. There's a yellow flag out down at turn 1.
Challenge for the lead here.
Challenge for the lead indeed. Stefan Kessler up the inside of Aston A, side by side off of hairpin 2 now into the chicane. It looks like Aston are just going to hold on. They've got good power there out of hairpin 2. Daniel Cohen holds on to the lead here. We've only had 6 minutes of this. We've still got 19 to go. This is brilliant. So the inside there goes Kessler for Nottingham A, side by side again as they come through this technical section. And there wide goes Kessler, and up the inside goes Pooley. Pooley to the front then for Trent A. And Piers Packard and Walsh, what a drive this has been. It's taken him 6 minutes to come from the back of the field, 35th to 2nd. That is madness.
This is insane.
This is brilliant stuff as they go through the yellow flag section. Now they have passed the incident already, I think.
Yes,
I think, because the Nottingham A were up the inside there of Aston. They're not anymore. Aston have got back ahead.
That was
Here
fair
goes
by my
Packard
judge.
and Walsh wide there. He needs to be careful about that and not getting too many track limit warnings. There's one for Manchester Metropolitan A, who are currently 13th. This is a fantastic scrap here at the front. Sam Pooley for Nottingham Trent A. Piers Packard and Walsh. A more experienced driver now. He's gone up the inside for hairpin 2. Can he get it off of hairpin 2? It's side by side still between Trent A. Trent A going to take this. Good bit of working together that actually between the 17 and the 7. And it's as you were, Howard. Pooley ahead as somebody is off. Circuit at the side of the road. Is that Jack O'Toole? Might be. We'll check it in a moment as Sam Turn up the inside of Daniel Cohen there.
Yep.
Huddersfield A getting past Aston A. It is all going on in this heavyweights second appearance of the day. Here come the leaders. Down start finish again. Still Sam Pooley ahead of Piers Packard and Walsh. There's a little hand there from Piers Packard and Walsh. At this stage, Howard, I think he's quite content to work with Pooley and push him along, similar to how we saw in the last race. Matthew Taylor and Don Whiting working together.
Well, you know, he's made up a mere 34 positions, so he can have a
Content
rest
for now.
He's earned himself a bit of a break there. Although looking at it, he might have a think about it because he's right on the rear bumper. But yeah, you got to think that it wouldn't be too bad of a strategy if they are equal on pace to work together with Nottingham A's recovering slightly there to third. Stefan Kessler has had a great race as well, let's say, as well. That's worth noting there. Running in third, Pascal Pook in fourth for Southampton A, and then Sam Tern's Huddersfield A kart there in fifth. Still Dan Cohn having a good race for Aston A in sixth. He's just dropped down a little bit. Our former leader of this race. What a start it's been, though, to this one. This has been a fantastic round. PFI giving us an absolute treat on its debut in the BUKC calendar, and coming out the pit lane there and almost upsetting Pascal Pook's race there
Harry
was the
Farnhill.
number 12, indeed, Harry Farnhill for UWTSDA. Oh, goodness me, that was a moment, shall we say. I don't think Pascal Pook had much awareness that that was about to happen to him. There's a penalty for Warwick C, multiple track limits. JV did have a conversation with the drivers for track limits, and cone penalty as well for Hertfordshire there. They want to avoid that as well. Wow, that was a late move. That's putting the lap on Harry Farnhill. Indeed, there was James Bumey, who was towards the sharp end of this in the early stages, still running well. Yeah, they just sort of just a tour de force has just hit the front of this field, and they really are going well. This is Sam Pooley at the front.
The key thing here, Howard, at the moment with BUKC and the team lineup they've got today of Pakenham Walsh out on circuit, second place. We've already seen Matthew Taylor take first place in his race, which is race 3. Tom Keeney's been out as well. He got fifth place in race 1. Who's their fourth team member? Carl Morby. For regular viewers of the BUKC, we all know what Carl Morby's about, and starts 23rd. I mean, if Piers can do this kind of thing from 35th, you know, Carl is looking very nicely positioned here to set up the BUKC team. We won't see him until race 6, I think. This is looking very, very good, even if they just take the second place in this one for Oxford BUKC.
Yeah, absolutely. Have we mentioned? Well, obviously, University West of England have had a tough race with their wheel woes. Queen Mary A, I believe, had to go to the pit lane with a mechanical, I want to say. And then Harry Farnhill had to, of course, pay a visit to the pit lane, and he's just picked up a cone penalty as well. We're looking at the battle over third place. Stefan Kessler in the number 9 Nottingham A kart. Pascal Pook, former pole sitter, well, our pole sitter for this race, there in the number 13 of Southampton A, and Sam Tien for Huddersfield A in the number 8. Good little battle this. Behind them, Nottingham Trent B, the number 74. Who's out for Trent B in this one? It's Scott Jeffs, who, I have to say, has come from 28th on the grid. That's not too shabby either for Nottingham Trent B. Nottingham Trent B having a strong day.
Yeah.
I want to say. Nottingham Trent generally doing really well, but the B team definitely having a strong showing here, as Pascal Pook is all over the back here of Stefan Kessler.
Trent B going for clubman honours. At the halfway point of the round, they were third. Obviously, we've seen Corey Richards have the issues for UEA, which are very unfortunate.
Yeah.
So Trent B should be taking second place after race number 4 in the clubman ranks. As I said, the Trent A team, I think it's been a par for the course performance from them so far this morning. 8th and 7th in their first 2 races. This, they could hold on for the win, and the 60 points is going to put them right in that mix for at least the top 5, maybe something a little bit more.
A good little battle on the fringes of the top 10, I have to say. Exeter A in 9th, just a few tenths ahead of Coventry D and De Montfort B. That's a good little battle developing there. That's Ryan Luscombe in that Exeter. In fact, he's just gone down to the benefit of Coventry D. Who have Coventry D got out in this one? It's Lewis Ryder in this one, so he's just making progress for them. up into 9th place. And this is it for Pascal Pook. He's going to have a look down the inside of the hairpin on Nottingham A. But Kessler's going to try and switch back. He'll be on the outside for hairpin 2. Look out as well for Sam Tiernan in that Huddersfield car, the number 8, still side by side. And Pascal Pook has got the advantage, and now Tiernan gets alongside Kessler's kart there, and he's going to try and have the advantage into the chicane, and indeed he gets the job done. So change of position there. Southampton A up to 3rd place, ahead of Huddersfield A and Nottingham A now. But Kessler will look to try and get that back. You can see him just trying slightly different lines there to try and get better drive as they come out of this more technical 3rd sector onto the start-finish straight to begin another lap. Meanwhile, ahead of them up the road, Brooks A have just set the fastest lap of the race, because Piers Pakenham-Walsh just hasn't stamped his authority on this race enough yet. And indeed, of course, that is going to reel in Sam Pooley for the lead of this one. In fact, they're just a 10th as they come across the line. I can see them coming down off of the bridge now, just slightly further ahead of these cars. You can just see them there at the bottom of your shot. Is it going to be an opportunity for a pass? No, it's not, as they come through hairpin 1, and we look at the 3rd place battle now coming through hairpin 1. But Piers Pakenham-Walsh is now taking the fight. Does he feel he has enough of a gap? There's still plenty of time to go in this race. There's no need for him to throw it away with a careless move. But you can just see them there ahead of this 3rd place battle there in the distance. They have closed right in now to have a 10th and a half between them. We'll have to see how the gap goes this lap. Meanwhile, Tiernan is now right onto the rear bumper of Pook. Huddersfield A versus Southampton A over 3rd place. Almost stuck together, these karts look at the moment. Fantastic stuff, and it has so far today. PFI generated some superb racing. I'm a big fan of this as an addition to the BUKC calendar, and indeed there was plenty of positive feedback from the drivers after the test days last week. Anything on this time into turn 3? No, they think better of it. Running quietly there, you just saw the Nottingham Trent B kart. So they're having, we mentioned how they were having a solid drive. They're having a quiet, solid drive at the moment, because it's a further, gosh, what's the gap back from them? 2.5 seconds further back to Daniel Cohen in the Aston A kart. Still having a solid drive for them, and a cleaner drive for them as well.
Yeah.
Good to see. So I think the drivers, I think broadly, Andrew, I know we're seeing the odd warning coming up, but broadly speaking, the drivers seem to have heeded the warnings about track limits, I'm going to say, for now.
Good scrap, good to see out the window. Just we're going into the S's now. Aston A and Bath A. So James Bume, I always get, is it Bume or Beamy? I never remember.
I've always said Bume.
Bume. We'll go with
If we
Bume.
got wrong, James.
Apologies, James, if we got it wrong again.
Is he getting the crazy guy reference? Does anyone get our crazy guy reference? Does anyone understand us?
Probably not.
He can, but he is doing well there.
He's having a very good battle at the moment with Daniel Cohen.
Yep.
Here it is. In fact, he's got ahead of Daniel Cohen. So great stuff there from the driver in the number 31. You can see him shrimping. He's a big boy, is James. And on a windy day like today, it's not... It's an interesting one. You've got your Bowser lights, you know, the ones that have got a very low centre of gravity.
Yes.
Then you've got your tall boys, who, especially with the wind still gusting a fair way.
You can hear it.
I mean, here's fine, because you've got a tailwind here as you go down into hairpin 1, but down the pit straight, we heard it from Matthew Taylor, how he was being caught on the straights by Don Whiting, who's quite a slight chap, and no, James Bume not being affected by it at all at the moment, driving very nicely indeed for a Bath A team, which I think have surprised quite a few people so far this season.
Yeah, we spoke about this on the DDMM podcast the other day, didn't we? That how it's great to see Bath A seem to have a new turn of form here, another university that has long supported the BUKC. That logo on the back of Bume's racesuit, that Bath Motorsport Club logo, that is one that I remember staring generally at the back of on kart tracks when I was driving in the BUKC. They have been around for a long while, and it's great to see them having so far this season a really good show of form. New personal best lap from Daniel Cohen, though, to bring him onto the back of Bume here. This battle, you get the sense, isn't quite done yet between Bath A and Aston A. These two Premier class teams had a really good time at the qualifiers. As they come into hairpin 1, the driver's so much more confident on the brakes now than they were in the early running this morning. So fantastic stuff here there with the they're able to apply slightly different settings now going into hairpin 1.
Careful, Mr. Cohen. Saw a little move there. Now, you talked in the previous era of Club 100, the TKMs not being allowed to adjust the carburettor. There is a similar kind of rule with these Rotax powered karts, which is you're not allowed to touch or adjust the little radiator cover that you see there on the right-hand side of the kart with the Rotax Max logo on it. I don't think Cohen is doing that because you are allowed to put your hand over it.
Yeah, so it's super. It's been the subject of some discussion, hasn't it, since we've entered the Rotax Evo Club 100 era, as we did at the start of 2019. What constitutes that? But you are not, as you say, allowed to adjust that cover. Also, I'm sure everyone, all the teams will have read the new rules and have caught this one. But the new one for me, Andrew, that we noted last night, not allowed to tamper with the fuel line, squeeze it, or in any way play around with it whilst you're rolling up. And we were talking about how that, just interfering with that fuel-air ratio. That obviously is against the rules. But it was an interesting addition there.
It's quite clear you shouldn't be playing with stuff between your legs when you're driving. That's just inappropriate behaviour.
Well, quite. As we cut back to the lead of this one, still Sampouli for Nottingham Trent A had a brilliant drive so far, but new fastest lap of the race from Piers, Packen and Walsh, a 1:11.265 to bring him to bear real pressure now on our race leader, and he's got a gap of 3.5 seconds now back to that third place battle, currently led by Pascal Pook for Southampton A. So we're getting to that point now where we can enter the end game here, and if Piers feels he has the opportunity, rest assured he will give it a go.
I wouldn't move yet, though.
No, I take that point.
3.5 seconds is there's a penalty for BAF B for multiple track limits. Was there another one that just came in there? Oh, for Brooks A! Oh dear, Piers, Packen and Walsh has incurred the wrath of JV and Willie Chu. He's nodding to me and saying, yep, that is a penalty for Brooks A on the basis of multiple track limits abusings, and that's it. That will mean he will not win this race. Now just remind me, Howard, is that a one-place deduction?
I'm just checking that one for you now, mate.
4.5 minutes to go then. Well, Trent A will be looking very comfortable now. Now, at the start of a new season, just wonder, will Sampouli be aware now that the driver behind him has a penalty, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to let him through, or towards the end of the race, if Packen and Walsh does go for a big move, not to defend too hard, because you're still going to be guaranteed to get the position back once the penalties is served. Got to say, the three behind them working very nicely together now. Pook, Turn and Kessler coming through hairpin 1 now.
I just want to say 2 positions for track limit warnings, 2 positions for every subsequent one. But interesting clause this, Andrew. Club 100 may change this rule at any time so that only 1 warning is given before penalties are applied. So in other words, by the time they've got a penalty, they've already breached track limits on multiple occasions. So that is something that Club 100 holds in their arsenal for what they can do to try and clamp down on this.
So that's an interesting one now, because we were saying earlier about how Brooks A were putting themselves in a very nice position to potentially win the round if Carl Morby can serve up a good result in race number 6. They're still in that mix, but they will start dropping points now, or dropping the max number of points possible.
Fastest lap of the race, Andrew, from Sam Tyrn in the Huddersfield A kart. You mentioned they were working together here. 3 minutes to go. It would be a very big ask for them to get. I don't know. I mean, if Piers and Sam start battling at the front again, potentially it could bring them into firing distance of these 3. But they have been working together well. One wonders, though, of course, if the gloves come off at any point in the last few laps between these 3, that too could undo their efforts. Still Nottingham Trent B having a really solid drive in 6th place, albeit quiet. Good drive by Scott Jeffs.
Yep. I think for Nottingham, though, they've had an okay-ish start to the proceedings here today. A 9th and an 18th so far on their scorecard. They could really do with the points here. As we saw with Huddersfield, the team just ahead of them, but they lost a lot of potential points in race number 3. Could have had a top 3. In the end, finished.
Oh,
sorry,
place,
and it's all changing around here.
Under
Pascal
pressure from
Pook
Tyrn.
Yeah, under a lot of pressure from Tyrn, and Kessler's through as well.
Wow, ran the outside effectively into 3.
Huddersfield up to 3rd, 4th Nottingham, 5th Southampton. But Huddersfield as well really needing the points, 14th and 29th so far in their first 2 race appearances here at PFI. Is not what they would have been expecting at the start of the day.
I don't want to take away from Jack O'Toole.
And side by side, coming off of hairpin 1, Kessler and Tyrn, and Kessler very aware that Pook is going to have a run there. He's going to have a lane up the inside as they go through hairpin 2. They're still side by side. Now coming off of hairpin 2, who's going to get in front? It is Kessler's got good speed there off hairpin 2 and just manages to fold back in front of Pascal Pook and retain 4th place.
Yeah, I think a slight tighter line that Pook had to take off the corner there as well didn't help. I don't want to take away at all from Jack O'Toole's driving, but at the moment the people of Gaydon are safe.
That's good to hear.
Kingston A running in 15th place, solid drive for them, but just at the moment you're all okay.
I'll say that, they're coming down, you can't see this on the camera, just sort of 4 wide off of hairpin 2, and he was right in the middle of that, Mr. O'Toole. Kessler fighting hard now. We are on to the last lap of the race.
Pooley has a good, decent advantage ahead of Piers Pakenham Walsh at the front, so I think it is all about this battle now, Andrew.
Oh,
and there's Pakenham Walsh. No, sorry, there's the one. It's
Loughborough. Sorry, no,
it's not
Coventry
Coventry A. Oh gosh, it is Coventry A. Goodness. So that means,
whilst Howard's just checking that, we're still looking at this battle for 3rd place, where Pook's managed to get his way back through. Pook has slipped round here. Love to take another look at that. He's retaken 3rd place. These 2 are still fighting for 4th. And they've just let Pascal Pook get away. This is remarkable. Southampton back to 3rd. Nottingham, 4th. Huddersfield 5th. Last lap is out. We're looking for our winners. Here he is. Sam Pooley is going to take the win for Nottingham Trent A. Here at PFI, it's 2nd place on the road for Piers Pakenham Walsh, but he has a penalty, so 2nd place will go to Southampton's Pascal Pook. Brilliant drive from pole position. There's a driver off in hairpin 2. It's chaos out there. Nottingham may take 4th on the road. That'll be a promotion to 3rd. Huddersfield A 5th. 6th place for Trent B, and just over the line there on the final lap. James Bumy takes 7th place away from Aston A and Daniel Cohen. 9th for Huddersfield B, 10th for Cambridge B, 11th for Cov D, 12th to Montfort B, 13th Brooks D. There is Jack O'Toole across the line for Kingston in 14th. Birmingham A 15th, that's better, that's in the right direction. 16th, a brilliant result there for Stephen Howes in the Brighton B card. X to A, only 17th, that's not good for them. 18th for Manchester Met A, 19th Brighton A, that's not too bad. They've got a bit of an advantage in Clubman, so that's not a disaster for them. They've picked up some more solid points there. 20th for Swansea A.
You and I need to book ourselves into the opticians, mate. It wasn't Coventry because they're not in this race. But that doesn't really explain why our brains sort of skipped through.
It didn't look like the right helmet.
Suggestion for number 21.
Okay, we
Sam Middleton in the Leeds B car.
Yeah.
He took a while there to cross the line, potentially. What was his last lap time?
We'll find that out in a moment.
No, it wasn't that bad, actually. I don't know, but it wasn't Coventry A because they're not in this race.
We're going to head down to Jacob, who is under the awning again, looking very warm. He's going to have a chat with some of the drivers from that race number 4, and also see how people are feeling ahead of race number 5. Jacob, over to you.
Down here in the pits, we are just waiting for Sam Pooley to get on the scales, which he's just done. Once he's all confirmed, you'll be heading my way for a quick chat. Sam, come on over. First BUKC win for yourself?
Yeah, first one. Feels good.
32nd on the grid as well.
You know, I was saying to my team beforehand, like, I felt I could do it, you know. I felt I could just carve through them, and that crash at the start helped a lot. But, yeah, it's a good one to start.
Piers Packen and Walsh really gave you a run for your money there. Were you ever worried?
I mean, I know he's smart enough to push me. I know he was smart enough to not fight me. But I think towards the end there, I was starting to stretch my legs a bit, and I could see him dropping back. So towards the end, I knew.
He did have a penalty towards the end, but I think he had you up the inside of one of the hairpins earlier on. At that point, did you think he'd had the pace on you?
I think he just wanted to try and get in front, because I think he might have known that I might have been a bit much for him coming towards the end. But you know, he kept with me. He got us clear, and yeah, you know, it was a good race.
Not quite a match for someone who's won the GP plate here, is he?
Well, you know, I love this track, so I'm good round here, you know. But yeah, no, he's a good driver. So.
Thanks for chatting, Sam, and I'm sure we'll see you again later in the season.
I hope so.
Sam Pooley there. Next up, who have we got here?
This is Stefan Kessler.
Stefan, decent race from yourself, in and amongst the lead at the start. You challenged for it, but unfortunately I think you have to tell third, was it?
It was fourth in the end, I reckon.
So there's a penalty for the man who was second on the road, so you were in third.
Third, awesome, yeah, that's good.
How did you find it out there?
Yeah, it was my first time out here at PFI with the BUKC karts. Obviously, did a bit of rental karting before, but you know, with those, it's all about the toe. And when you're on your own out there, it's no chance catching anybody up front who's in a twin pack. So yeah, it was a decent race though. Got in the pack with the other two at the end, and we just kind of tried to move our way forward. Yeah, and in the end, was third. So it's awesome.
Stefan, you're Nottingham, right? Yeah. And I've just spoken to a Trent driver. Is there a chance that Trent could beat Nottingham this year?
Potentially, all cards are open. I mean, we're obviously hoping for the win, taking it home this year, but you know, you can never tell.
We look forward to that rivalry developing throughout the season. Thanks for talking to us, Stefan, and we'll move on to second place man, Pascal. Pascal, one place down from your starting position. How did you find that?
Yeah, it was a bit of a messy the first couple of laps, but then once it sort of got in that middle area, just sort of a bit of a gap ahead, so just sort of pushing each other along, which was good, and then we just sort of fought to the end, so yeah, it was good in the end.
I take it you've been to PF before. How does a BUKC kart, or a Club 100 kart, I should say, race around here?
Not much using the brakes. Feels fast, but obviously chucking it around a bit of a race. It's different, definitely different compared to the normal stuff around here.
And lastly, the question on every Southampton fan's lips, where's Kirk Langley today?
You'd have to mess to him and ask, to be honest. Yeah, we miss him. We want him back. We want him back in the car, but obviously he couldn't make it to this round, but hopefully next round we'll see him out there. Bit of bashing around, hopefully, a bit faster.
Tell him I miss him.
Yeah, we'll do.
Cheers, Pascal. Pascal Pook there for Southampton, team captain, or at least last year's captain. Not here, Kirk Langley. Stephen Letts lines up on pole position for this one. I'm going to jump onto his side pod here. Stephen, you're the last man to sign on today. Can you be the first man across the line at the end of this race?
Yeah.
Like that, how's Huddersfield's day going? Tell me about it.
Was going all right until Aaron had a lap penalty, and now it's all over. So it doesn't matter what I do now, really.
There's always the pride that you can fight for.
Yeah, that's about it though.
You guys are current BUKC 24-hour champions. Can you transfer that success from the endurance over into the main season?
I don't know. I did all right. I did my part. It's down to the rest of them, really. Yeah.
You see yourself as a little bit of a lone wolf in this team?
I have carried this team for 3 years now. This is my 4th year. My shoulders are killing.
Bold statement there from Stephen Letts. Stephen, thanks for talking to us, and thanks for that striking admission.
That's okay. No problem.
The man who's carried, in his own words, carried the Huddersfield team for the last 3 years. Wow. Quite something to say, really. We are going to shuffle further back. This will be the last of our lightweights race. I'm going to go for someone middle of the pack. We're going to dive in here. We spoke to Kingston prior to the last race. Let's get in here with this brightly helmeted young man. Excuse me, do you mind if I just jump in here? Who have we got?
Ed Tansley.
Who are you racing for again, remind me?
Oxford.
Oxford, thank God for that. I was thinking I haven't spoken to either Oxford or Cambridge. I don't want to seem too anti-elitist. How are you getting on today?
We're not doing too brilliant so far, but, you know, got a couple more to go, and the endurance races we should do quite good.
What are you hoping for yourself in this race?
Finish about where I start. You know, I'd say 15th is the target, start 17th, so...
It's nothing too ambitious.
No. Well, we'll see. If I'm quick, then I want to go forwards. If I'm slow, then I'll try and hold position. I haven't been here for a few years, so I don't really know.
Well, some people have never been here before. Do you think maybe a little bit of experience around here could help?
It would do, definitely. It's quite dry now. I think in the morning, that's where the experience comes in. I sort of watching from the balcony, and half the corners were soaking.
It's pretty dry out there now. Sun's out.
Yeah, sun's out, guns out.
We're having a quick chat about personal cars today. What's the worst car in the Oxford camp?
Well, I don't know, really. Like, none of us really even have a car, so that's pretty shameful in itself.
How did you get here today?
Oh, my dad gave me a lift.
Wow. They don't even have cars. They get their parents to give them a lift. That's possibly the worst of them all.
Yeah, probably.
Right, cheers for chatting with us. I'm going to use your steering wheel to jump up, and let's jump over in the middle to Charlie Lamb. Quick chat, Charlie. Is there a Trent rivalry brewing with yourselves and them?
It looks like it, doesn't it? They're doing quite well today, so they've had a better day than us, I think, so far. So
you sort that out in this race?
Oh, I hope so. I guess we'll have to see. Have a good start and see what happens.
Well, good luck with that. Nottingham and Nottingham Trent rivalry brewing. Sam Spinell goes out for his first BUKC race for Coventry. Sam, how's Coventry Day going so far? Can you get a good result here?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
Few quick words from Sam Spinell there. And his first race in Coventry since qualifying. Right, Andrew, Howard, back up to you guys upstairs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jacob Harris. Back with us here at PFI. Howard is going to give us a grid.
I am indeed, as there are some rather ominous clouds, by the way, we should know as well, coming in over the circuit. We'll get on to that maybe in a moment. Here is your grid then. Stephen Letts will start this one for Huddersfield A. Yes, he will. There we go. James Grant starting alongside for Newcastle B. Sam Richardson starts for Manchester Met A with Benjamin Boros for Birmingham B alongside. Row 3 is Oxford Brook C with Lewis Bracewell at the wheel, and Sheffield A with Callum Barnett piloting that effort. Row 4 is Warwick C's Angel Marco, and Junior Zhu starts for Birmingham C. Then it's Imperial A with Alexander Doricott and Southampton rounding out your top 10. We don't have the driver against that right now. I'm sure Mr. Harris will have made us aware. We'll update that in a moment. Queen Mary A have Anthony Small, and De Moffat A have Johnny Knight. On row 6, row 7 is Kingston A's Andres Bedoya, and Suzanne Goodsold for Aston A. Row 8 is Loughborough C's Ben Watkin, and Bath A's Sam Baxter. On row number 9, we find Edward Tansley, who we've just heard from, starting for Oxford. We also spoke to Charlie Lamb of Nottingham A. Rounding out the top 20 on row 10 is George Bridson for Coventry B and Callum Jenkins for Hertfordshire A. Robert Starley starts for Leeds B with Coventry A's Sam Spinell on row 11. That's interesting. Sam Spinell starting just behind Hertfordshire on the grid in his Mains Championship first race for Coventry. Cambridge A have Samuel Gerrard, and Warwick A have Joe Perkins on row number 12. Row 13 is going to be Pierre Livingston for Bath B, and Brooks D have George Belloc Ruiz starting for them. Row 14 is going to be William Stacey for Leeds A and Aaron Foster for Newcastle A. Row 15 is De Montfort B with Tom Cuthbertson at the wheel, and Ben Gilbert. Is that... Hang on, we're going to have to check that in a sec. For Trinity A there, Ben Gilbert starts to round out your top 30. Loughborough B, that's not the gold helmeted... No, okay, fine. Sorry, I had a sudden... Anyway, Sam Dickens starts for Loughborough B, and Aidan Lee starts for Brooks B to round out your 16th row of the grid. Christian Monaghan and Rory Cuff are on row 17 for Loughborough D and Exeter A, respectively. And rounding out your 36 car on the grid is Alex Spensley for Exeter B, and James Mills, one potentially to watch here for Loughborough A from the back. Sorry, for those of you who are not familiar, that was a reference to a really fan favourite, about 3 years ago, a fan favourite helmet. I suddenly had a sudden flashback, and it was, well, I enjoyed it. Anyway,
some big hitters in this one.
It is big hitters, isn't it?
Real big hitters. You've got, obviously, Letts at the front of the grid for Huddersfield, and those two drivers you've just mentioned towards the back, Rory Cuff, who's raced a mini challenge at a circuit level, racing for Exeter in this one, and for... Oh, hello, everybody.
We are, yes, we are.
Sorry, we didn't know you were there.
I was trying not to...
James Mills as well. James Mills as well for Huddersfield A. I am going to look out that way, though, ladies and gentlemen, because there is a very, very dark, ominous cloud, and we currently have, from our sources, rain starting in 35 minutes.
Well, I don't know. I need to reload because
it might be 30
it's been
minutes
5 minutes
now.
since
25
minutes. So that's critical, and that's critical for a 25-minute sprint race that starts in about a minute's time.
Yeah, and according to the BBC, apparently hail at 2 o'clock. This could get very interesting. Do not go anywhere. That is the sun. That is going to disappear in about 25 minutes' time, so enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
But yeah, some big hitters in this one. James Mills coming from the back of the grid. A lot of teams, if this is your first time in the BUKC, obviously this is race 5 out of 6. We talked about how all teams sit out 2, what was that? 2 races.
Something blowing over in the pit lane, I think.
So for some teams, they will be very happy with that news, that rain is on its way, because this is their last race of round 1. Also means that it's their last chance to score points. Examples being Exeter A, Southampton A, Bath A, Nottingham A. They're all wrapping up in this one, so we'll keep an eye out on those, because we will have some clubhouse leaders at the end of this race. Right, I think we are just about set. It is still sunny here at PF International, Trent Valley Kart Club in Lincolnshire, not too far from Grantham.
Experienced driver, of course, in the form of Stephen Letts, starting this one for Huddersfield. You would, Huddersfield will expect a strong showing here. It'll be interesting to see how James Grant goes from grid second. But as you say, mate, quite a few what we sometimes call big names on circuit.
Yes.
Reference to the big name on campus phenomenon that you often get. Phenomenon's a great word for that kind of thing, isn't it? That you often get on university campuses. So let's keep an eye out for some of those working their way through. Just looking at the back few rows. James Mills for Loughborough A, Rory Cuff for Exeter A, Aidan Lee for Brooks B, Sam Dickens for Loughborough B. There are a few real sort of interesting names at the back of this one. It's going to be interesting to see. This is race 5, so it's another lightweight race. Drivers need to be weighted to 75 kilos as we look good for the start here. David Whitehouse in the pace car, telling them just to keep steady as he pulls off to the side. Eyes on the lights, engine notes rise, and away we go. It's a great start from pole side of the grid, and look at that, the first 3 on the pole side of the grid, immediately up to the top 3. We're going to just make sure we have a look at that, make sure that was entirely above board, but it is Stephen Letts leading from Sam Richardson through turn 3 as they all come through nice and cleanly, and Brooks sees Lewis Bracewell has had a great start there as well, and I think has already got himself into second. Has he? Is side by side with Manchester Metropolitan's Sam Richardson as they head towards the first hairpin, and behind them as well, battle going on between Newcastle B and Birmingham B as they come through hairpin 1 there. Are they all through cleanly there? It looks to me, although they're going 3 wide, nay 4 wide somewhere in the field there, that has all been clean enough. As a round actually in the mid-pack there, I just saw went the number 53 of Bath B, that's Pierre Livingston, so he'll have a recovery now. He's back underway again as we continue to follow them through the middle chicane here and into the latter part of the lap. But as you can see, it is still Stephen Letts at the head of this field. Sam Richardson in second place for Manchester Metropolitan A. Contact warning issued for Brooks D there, but otherwise that was relatively clean and calm. There is Aston A's Suzanne Goodsold making good progress on this first lap as well. We could see there Huddersfield A lead there, Manchester Metropolitan in second. The 32 at Birmingham B, Benjamin Boros, has had a great start for them to get up to third. Newcastle B in fourth, and Sheffield A rounds out your top 5 as well. Good start there for Callum Barnett in the Sheffield A car. Not a team I feel we've spoken about too much so far today.
Not too much for those guys, but good to see them up there at the sharp end of the field here on lap 2. Everyone just sorting themselves out at this stage of the race. As number 11 looks at the inside of the 18, that's BUKC on Sheffield A, and that's a very clean textbook manoeuvre there by the BUKC driver to take 5th place.
Yeah, good driver, good start to the race this from Lewis Bracewell. Got really near the front of the very start and then dropped a little bit, but here is a fantastic pack of karts in the midfield trying to sort themselves out and get into the rhythm. That's what you're looking to do in the early phase of the race. Pick off the positions you can, don't get thrown too far offline and lose your rhythm, and try and get that going, get the ball rolling, get some momentum, find your place in the queue as it were without taking unnecessary risk. We are looking at the number 11 of BUKC, that is Lewis Bracewell, and he has the attentions of Sheffield A still. Sheffield A are trying to come back against BUKC is Callum Barnett.
Callum Barnett, of course, having a little look there at the inside, has a good record when BUKC goes to new circuits. Remember him running very strongly last season at Three Sisters up in Wigan, but he's being challenged now by Southampton A's driver in the number 13. This is a key race actually for Sheffield because they've still got a good chance in Clubman, but Southampton A up the inside trying to look for the move through. De Montfort A in there as well. It's Chris Sheffer driving for Southampton A in this one.
There's Johnny Knight for De Montfort, if I'm not much mistaken.
Still 32 there. Carl Knight, you mean? Sorry, but I've got Cross Knights. There's 2 Knights. Too many Knights. There's Carl Knight out there, I think, for Newcastle B. James Grant. I'm getting confused now between the suits, but Newcastle B, this is a key race for them as well. We mentioned earlier that they're focusing their attentions in terms of championship position and points on the B team. Good for them that they're up there now in 3rd place. They've got past Birmingham B. Benjamin Boros.
Yeah, track limit warning just came in for Country A. In fact, there's a few track limit warnings coming in. They are going to have to be careful of that. There's Sam Spinell in that number 1 Coventry A effort. What about those other drivers who we spoke about, ones to look out for? Loughborough have got themselves up to 18th from pretty much the back. Those that haven't been able to make progress, Andrew, one of the ones that surprises me out there is Brooks B, down in 35th place.
Squabbling here again over 3rd place, the 2 B teams from Newcastle and Birmingham B. Brooks C will get involved now. Lewis Bracewell, who was quick here in testing a week ago, but quite different conditions on that day. Bracewell. Where are BUKC at the moment in the standings? They could get a good score. They're not in the fight for the overall round win at this stage. That number's been down to 10 teams actually. Coventry A. Well, it's all the usual suspects. Cov A, Cambridge A, 2 Brooks teams A and B. Loughborough, De Montfort, Trent A, Exeter, Southampton A and Exeter B as well. It's going to be one of those 10 to take the first round of the BUKC in 2020.
Those that we are looking to work their way through the order, Andrew, we haven't of course had as Birmingham B goes down the inside there of Newcastle B, that battle continues to go on here, and it's still carrying on here. Lewis Bracewell leads them onto the Lichfield Bridge and will lead them down out of there as who else is getting involved in it? That is Southampton A's Sheffer, isn't it, as well, going side by side with Newcastle B and James Grant. But yes, we haven't had the big upset that we had in the last race, which was an incident that collected several karts in the first lap. So those who are working their way through the order, it's more a case of making slow and steady progress. Rory Cuff was one of the drivers we wondered might work his way up. He's up to 22nd for Exeter A, and as I say, James Mills for Loughborough A, he's got himself up to 16th place from stone dead last on the grid. So they are working their way up. They may become a factor in the latter part of this race, as may do the rain. Keep an eye on the clouds.
I'm just having a look here in the comms box. We're overlooking start-finish. And over to my left, I think I can see rain approaching. I think I can see rain approaching from An area where the wind will blow it in as
Yeah.
Stephen Letts sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 11.269 that time around. He is now just less than half a second clear of Manchester Metropolitan.
Say, it doesn't look like that to me as they come down off the bridge just out the window, Andrew. And we do need to keep an eye on this one because I think Richardson is responding. We stay, though, rightly with this battle over third place, currently led by Lewis Bracewell in the BUKC kart, ahead of Boros in the number 32 Birmingham B, which is currently your highest placed clubman runner. Birmingham fielding 3 teams in this clubman subclass today, based off of their qualifiers results, as he's now coming under pressure from Southampton A's Chris Sheffer. Will Sheffer have the advantage? Not quite. Couldn't get the drive off of the corner as there's a penalty for multiple track limits for Kingston A. They're currently running in 23rd place. So I'm going to fall down the order a little bit through post-race penalties. Bear that in mind as the battle from third place down to about 7th comes through to finish another lap, and it's being caught.
Of rain on the comms box window.
Yeah, and this battle over third has now been caught by the battle over 8th, Andrew, such that it's basically, look at this train of karts that are closing up just as we think the heavens may be starting to open. This could get very interesting. For me, it is BUKC all the way down to about Imperial A.
Yep.
All in this train of karts, so this could get really interesting as Lewis Bracewell and Benjamin Boris have broken away slightly at the front of this one, but the Coventry A kart, which is part of Sam Spinell, of course, is on the back of Sheffield A at the moment.
Can't call him the Leaning Tower of Hertfordshire
You can't.
anymore,
I
of
really
course.
want to call him that, but it'd be if it does start to rain, we may see.
And he is good in the wet.
Oh, he's great in the
Oh,
wet.
here it is. Yep, the rain has hit. The rain has hit the circuit. It's not quite showing at the moment in terms of how the drivers are performing, but there is considerable rain starting to hit the commentary box window here over start-finish. Coventry B have a penalty for multiple track limits.
Bath A as well has picked up a penalty as well. No, sorry, it's a curb warning, excuse me. As Lewis Bracewell there gets
Very
taken by
defensive down
Benjamin
the
Boros.
straight.
And I think Bracewell has not anticipated these conditions well. Suddenly, it's all bunched up here. Look at this, coming under the Litchfield Bridge, heading towards turn 3. Through is going to go Sam Spinell for Coventry on Lewis Bracewell. I think Benjamin Boros has been the big beneficiary of this, though, taking third for Birmingham B as it currently stands. I will just have a quick look out the window at our leaders as well. They seem to be finding the conditions. They've got that little safety buffer of the time that they've pulled out.
Contact into hairpin 1, Charlie Lamb into the back of Lewis Bracewell. Just about everybody was able to keep it pointing in the right direction. But just as we called it, Sam Spinell has come through this little pack now into hairpin 2. Apologies, our cameras are down a little bit at the moment. Oh, there's a spinner
That's
at the top of the hill. That's coming onto the bridge. It's the number 23.
Kingston A, already with penalties to be applied. Penalties as well came in there, Andrew, critically for Nottingham A and Aston A.
Sim Spinell up the inside of Benjamin Boros, so that is Coventry A. I think that means they're up to third place.
It does mean they're up to third place, and they did so penalty-free, whilst others around them in this train of karts, which is still continuing to grow. It's like I'm playing Snake on an old 3310 here. It's just getting longer and longer. But some people have accrued penalties there. Aston A got a bump and pass, so that'll be 4 positions, and Nottingham A 2, I think, was... Nottingham A was bump and pass, Aston A was multiple track limits, as there's a black flag for Loughborough C for a takeout. I wonder if that was related to the Kingston kart we saw stationary at the top of the hill.
Could well be. Rain continues to fall, but I reckon it's just going to be a little shower.
It's
not
rainbow.
setting in.
Rainbow weather, isn't it?
It is rainbow
Sun
weather.
is starting to shine through again. Birmingham see a penalty for
Look at that
track
train
limits.
behind Sam Spinell.
This
It's
is
running away.
All for position. All of that in shot.
The number 2's involved in there as well. James Mills, the Litchfield Motorsport suit in the middle there. He'll be enjoying these conditions. There's a yellow flag out at hairpin 1. I can't quite see what for, though. As the number 34 gets all squirrely there in the middle of hairpin number 2. That's William Stacey for Leeds A there, but just about survive. This is survival mode at the moment, because there's still a long way in this race to go. 14.5 minutes. Howard, can we get a weather check to see is this rain in for the set to stay in for this race, or is it going to break? Because the clouds look relatively white and fluffy at the moment with a good amount of blue sky.
Well, I've just updated the weather tracker. It said snow in 3 minutes.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's happening. All I know is that Stephen Letts will be wondering, why am I not? No, I'm not lapping anybody. Where is everybody? They're behind you. They're all behind you. Just everybody. There's so little field spread, save for the leaders at the front. This is highly unusual as the grip starts to, well, come back to the drivers, I think, mate. Because I don't think there's precipitation anymore, as there's a penalty for Leeds A for multiple trap limits, so that's not going to be good for them. Look at this, though.
Our man, our hero, George Bridson, is absolutely flying. He's in the Coventry B kart. He's currently 17th, but the last time around, he was 3 seconds a lap quicker than those around him.
Coventry A have just got a track limits warning again, Sam Spinell, but he's in third place and he's just taken 2.8 seconds out of Manchester Metropolitan on that last lap, Andrew. So he's trying to close that gap to our front two drivers in the form, of course, of Sam Richardson for Manchester Met and Huddersfield A's Stephen Letts. So look out for Sam Spinell, even though he has accrued some penalties. These are getting costly again. That's him seeing his penalty.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was Sam Spinell having a check on what the weather was doing.
It might have been, but I think he may have seen his penalty for the first time. But he took out another second out of Sam Richardson on that lap, Andrew. Look out for this as Lewis Bracewell goes side by side again with Southampton A this time.
Rory Cuff as well. I just caught a sight of him on the pit straight there making a move. He's in the number 5, extra 8, up to 13th, so he's come from the back of the grid. We said to watch out for him. And James Mills as well. He's in the top 10 now. The pace is back. Everyone's back in kind of the 113s, the 114s, some in the 112s. It definitely has stopped raining out there. 12 minutes to go. There is Cuff up the inside of the number 14 now for another position. That's Cambridge A done. And in for Cambridge A at the moment, apologies, is Sam Gerrard. Sam Gerrard in for Cambridge A at the moment. So as it stands with 12 minutes to go, the usual suspects all putting on good scores here. Coventry A, we will see them in the final race. At the moment, just to finish like this, well, they do have penalties, of course. Their 2 places would drop them to 5th, but even with that, they'd be on 173. Very, very intriguing. I think we're going to have a lot of teams going for it in the final race of round number 1. Serves up for what should be a fascinating season. Our weather tracker is not having a good day. It's saying there's snow for 51 minutes.
Well, it's honed in.
I beg to differ.
It's honed in on Honington. I'm just seeing how... Hello, if anyone's watching us from Honington. I'm just trying to find out how far away you are, because apparently you've got snow.
Brooks D have just got a penalty as down the inside of Sam Gerrard goes. Couldn't quite make out who that was, but might have been Leeds A. As James Mills, the green, white and orange suit. He's there in 10th place, just trying to find a way past Oxford's driver in the number 28.
There is...
which is Edward Tansley.
I've just had a
spokesman on the grid.
Sorry, Andrew. I've just had a look on the map. There is a hill between us and where the weather station is.
Well, I know a lot about them. From Sheffield.
Indeed. And I think that may be breaking up. That may explain a discrepancy here. I think we're looking at highly localised weather.
It's something like when certain news outlets try to make out that the weather in Manchester is the same as what it's going to be in Sheffield. Hello, the Pennines are in the way. It's always sunny in Sheffield. Another penalty was a repeat showing of the same penalty for Brooks D for multiple track limits. 2 positions for them at the end of the race.
Well have been. Can I just say, Jacob Harris, who's just left the Cosmos, he has had garlic bread.
That's not.
We have been insanely jealous throughout the entire race.
That's just deplorable behaviour coming in this
We love having him, but oh my gosh.
Beautiful smelling food.
That was amazing. Anyway, what are we looking at here? We're looking at Loughborough A defending from X to A. In other words, James Mills defending from Rory Cuff. Well, I say defending, actually. It's in their best interest to work together here because they've had a solid drive from the back of the field so far, and that's been very impressive. Are we looking at the battle over second place now? Difficult to tell in the sunlight that we've got on the shot there, but I think that looked to me, yes. No, we are looking at the battle between Nottingham A and Birmingham and Sheffield. Sorry, Nottingham A and Sheffield there. apologies. We've got very low sun here. That's making it a little difficult, as James Mills, there in the Loughborough car, has just set the fastest lap of the race, and that has brought him within striking distance of Chris Sheffer in the Southampton A kart there, in the number 13, who himself is chasing Lewis Bracewell. I feel like I've been talking about Lewis Bracewell all race. He just has got himself involved in so much fantastic racing here at the front. He himself is trying to chase Benjamin Boros in the Birmingham B kart in 6th place, and it is he who heads this train as they go through hairpin 1.
Hello to Kieran Woodhouse from the UE team. He's been on Facebook and given the Double Dash Motorsport Media Facebook page a like. If you're enjoying the commentary, do make sure that you do that. Hello to Gareth Parker as well, who I think is from Swansea. And Swansea fans rejoice. He's liked the page as well. Thank you for that. Next round at Buckmore Park. Normally where we have the first 2 rounds of the year, but rounds 3 and 4 this season at Buckmore Park, we will have the return of the man himself, the JJ. Mr. James Johnston will be back on commentary duty for Buckmore Park.
He will.
Swansea will like that a lot. Up the inside goes the number 11.
It's Bracewell.
BUKC. Bracewell through.
One Boros in the Birmingham B kart, and behind them it's kicking off as well into the bridge section there. That's James Mills versus Rory Cuff there.
That's
and
a
Cuff's
brilliant
come out
move.
Brilliantly from that, and they've both, in doing so, also got past Chris Sheffer in that Southampton kart there. So great racing between those two as Benjamin Boros goes down the inside of Bracewell. Again, Birmingham B back past BUKC for 6th. It's side by side. Bracewell judges it beautifully, hangs back and waits for the gap to open up. Lovely judgment there. Just bided his time. And now look at that behind them. James Mills gets a cheeky move around the outside of Rory Cuff, who gets bolted and passed again by Sheffer in the Southampton A kart. But they're going to go side by side into the last part of the lap. Noah's arcing it through the final sector. James Mills gets past Benjamin Boros, and Rory Cuff just manages to hold off Chris Sheffer, who now has to look behind him because Oxford have just arrived on this scene as well, in the form of Edward Tansley, who Jacob spoke to. Look, they've all bunched up again. It was getting a bit boring, you see. There just wasn't enough for us to talk about, or they don't want us to be able to breathe.
Rory Cuff goes through. Oh, Mills at the inside of Bracewell, so that's another position for Loughborough A, and they're bringing their way into this battle now for at least the podium in this round. 4th, 6th, and what's that going to make? That's going to be 6th again now for them. As down the inside here comes Rory Cuff for Exeter A, needing big points in this one are Exeter. It's their final race of the first round. They didn't have a particularly good race in race 4. I think if this rate they're going to be a little bit short of points.
Just in case you're not entertained, the lead gap between Stephen Letts and Sam Richardson in front just came down by 0.3 of a second. It's now under a second again by 0.8. They're just coming through the latter part of the third sector now to start a new lap. But just keep an eye on that lead gap as we enter into the... And it's down even further, down another 0.4 of a second. It's now 0.4 of a second. Suddenly, Sam Richardson has found a real turn of pace for Manchester Met as they come over the bridge. Meanwhile, side by side, it is Loughborough A versus Exeter A. Rory Cuff in the Exeter A kart will have the outside line going into 3, and surely that will mean that James Mills will go up the inside. Lewis Bracewell smells the opportunity behind them as well in that BUKC kart. Still they're fighting away. Rory Cuff with the advantage now. Bracewell trying up the inside as they go onto the Litchfield Bridge, but James Mills will have the advantage coming onto the back straight, and now Benjamin Boros in that 32 Birmingham B kart trying to buy into this. This is just going and going all race long, and it's fantastic to watch.
Really is. 2 very strong drivers at the front of this field, and some drivers behind them taking inspiration from this, putting in some brilliant performances.
Sorry, Andrew. Lead battle in Sector 3. Now, Sam Richardson for Manchester Met is right on the rear bumper of Stephen Letts here. They're just coming through the last few corners to come on to a new lap. So we'll try and keep one eye on that.
Yeah, coming over start-finish now. Both these drivers race winners in previous seasons. Letts versus Richardson, and Richardson is really on the back now. 4 minutes to go.
New fastest lap again. He's been doing straight fastest laps of the race, has Sam Richardson, and look at this. He's got it down to 0.3 of a second. Will there be an opportunity here as they come onto the bridge? No, he's going to wait for a clearer opportunity here. He's been building up to this for several laps. No point throwing it away. as they come down. He's going to look to the inside, though, into hairpin one on Stephen Letts. Can Manchester Metropolitan take the lead of this one? Richardson turns in. Letts will try and get the switch back here, but he's going to have the outside line for the next hairpin. He's going to have to try something creative here to take this one back side by side into the braking zone. Richardson tries to hold the advantage here, but look at the switch back. Great drive off the corner from Stephen Letts, coming towards the chicane. Who's going to come out top on this one? And he's got it back as Stephen Letts. Brilliant racing between these two drivers at the head of the field, as still the battles rage further down the field behind them. Will there be an opportunity in the latter part of the lap? No, I think it stays as is, but battle has been properly joined here at the front as we enter the closing stages.
One does not simply pass Stephen Letts. That was brilliant stuff from the man who said just before this race that he's carried the Huddersfield A team over the past couple of years. He has been arguably their fastest driver since he appeared in the BUKC. He's normally a driver who comes from the back of the grid, but today he's taken the pole spot from the random allocation. Can he convert it into 60 points for Huddersfield A? It's a bit of a damage limitation job, to be honest, in terms of the round. They're not in the fight for the podium spots overall, but Letts will want to take this win here at PFI. Sam Richardson, what does he do? He had the pace, he caught him, initially got ahead, but then some very, very clever driving from Stephen Letts meant he got back into the lead.
I do want to acknowledge the other battle that we haven't mentioned. We've mentioned this lead battle, we've mentioned the battle from X to A downwards, but still, all race long it seems. You can just see in the back of shot there, Coventry A, they're having a quiet drive now. Nottingham A and Sheffield A, though, are still battling away over fourth place, nose to tail. This being Charlie Lamb, of course, and it's Callum Barnett, isn't it, in the kart for Sheffield A. So they're battling as we come to the end here, although I have to say I think Nottingham A is due a penalty, so I'm not sure if that's a legitimate battle for the lead, but they have been nose to tail, and that's another one to keep an eye on as Stephen Letts continues to position his kart absolutely beautifully here, just to deter Sam Richardson from attempting anything. Still, as I say, the battle from Exeter down to the ends of the earth, and everybody in Lincolnshire is involved, it feels like, is still battling away out there. Well, I mean, we should not become weather forecasters, should we, mate? Because it's looking amazing out there right now. And we said that this is where rain could come in, but definitely changeable conditions now here at PFI, where we are enjoying very, very much the BUKC's first racing visit to arguably the pinnacle race circuit in the UK. I mean, we go to some fantastic venues throughout the calendar in the BUKC, but this is a very, very, very welcome addition to the calendar. One of Britain's premier karting venues.
Hello to the Brighton team who've got in touch on Twitter at Double Dash asking how's it looking going into race 6 for Clubman's. Very close at the moment. I've got 1 point between Brighton and Nottingham Trent B at the top of Clubman. That's after race 4, so we'll see where it is after this result is counted, but it's going to be a tasty one going into race 6. Meanwhile, 2/3 of the lap to go. Can Stephen Letts hold on from Sam Richardson? Richardson, this is where he was quick earlier on in the race. This is where he went for the move and then got past for a couple of corners, but he's not there. Stephen Letts, my goodness me. He frustrates me sometimes as a driver to watch, but this, he's been impeccable. Slightly defensive line through hairpin 2. Oh, and he nearly got an overlap there, did Richardson, but this has been majestic from Stephen Letts. It's been clean, it's been fast, it's not been dominant. He's been pushed a very, very long way by Richardson. He's got to still defend. Goes a little bit inside, but through the horseshoe now. 2 more corners to go. Can Stephen Letts hold on to take another victory in the BUKC? Yes, he can. I think Richardson has conceded round the final corner, and Stephen Letts will win brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly for Huddersfield A. A fantastic result for Manchester Metropolitan A there as well in second place. And look at this over the line. 3rd place goes to Coventry A. That could be big. That could be really big. Nottingham A 4th. James Mills from the back of the grid 5th. Rory Cuff also from the back of the grid 6th. Sheffield A were in there as well. Look at this over the line as well. The number 3 and the 31. That was close for 17th. But Huddersfield A win it. Manchester Met A 2nd. Cov A 3rd. Nottingham A 4th. Sheffield A 5th, that's a big result for them as well in Clubman. 6th place for Loughborough A, 7th for Exeter A, 8th for Brooks C, 9th for Birmingham B, 10th for Leeds A. That's another really good morning for Leeds A. They're going to be there or thereabouts. 11th for Southampton A, 12th for Coventry B, 13th Oxford, 14th Aston A, 15th for Motford A, 16th Cambridge A, 17th Brooks B, 18th Bath A, 19th Trinity A, 20th Exeter B. And what has happened here on the back straight, because I can see a Charlie Lamb in a Nottingham cart stationary. There he is, and I think he's going to get a helping hand from
Sheffield.
From Sheffield.
Callum Barnett.
Callum Barnett's going to push him back to the pits.
Oh, there we go.
Well, if that's just conked out, that's a very, very good time to conk out, because
yeah, it's
obviously just finished.
Yeah, that's the BUKC equivalent of when you see drivers giving a lift back.
Yes.
At the pits in Formula One.
Right, so I'm just checking down into pit lane. I think Mr. Jacob Harris is ready.
Absolutely.
He is indeed.
Be very
Let's
interested to
pass
get his
down
thoughts.
to Jacob, who's going to have a chat, hopefully, with our winner there from race 5, Mr. Stephen Letts.
We are weighing all our drivers from that race. Winner Stephen Letts is about to step on the scales just behind the camera there, and then we'll have a chat with him. You mentioned before the race about how he's been carrying the Huddersfield team for the last 3 years, so we'll question him about how they'll cope as and when he graduates. Sam Spinell and Sam Richardson should also come and have a chat with us. Stephen's completely missed the scales and just had to give him a quick point in the right direction, but he'll be chatting with us just as soon as he weighs in at 75 kilos. Here he is. He's looking for somewhere to put his GoPro. I'll take that if you want. You've just realised I don't need it, don't you? Yeah. Strong performance from yourself, Stephen.
Sorry?
Strong performance.
Yeah. Wasn't expected to be as hard as it was, to be honest. But yeah, the other guy was quite quick. We had a bit of a battle. The rain out, definitely. We had a bit of a gap after that, but he still caught me up again. So yeah, it was all right there.
You mentioned before the race how you carry, or have carried, the Huddersfield team on your back for the last 3 years. How are they going to cope when you graduate?
I definitely will. I definitely will.
Are we about to see the beginning of the end for H-Carts and the Huddersfield, strong showings in BUKC? Is this it?
I mean, maybe if my sister comes along, maybe she'll be as good. She's, just turned 18, so maybe maybe I have to train her. And, yeah.
We can only hope.
Only. Hope is good.
Thanks for the chat. We'll see you again this afternoon. I think Mr. Richardson is waiting for us just off camera. Sam, come and have a chat. Sam Spinell has disappeared towards the back of the grid, so we won't be able to get a chat with him. But Sam Richardson, second place, you happy with that?
Yeah, I think if it stayed dry, I could have maybe got first. But it didn't stay dry, so...
You had the pace for it then?
Yeah, because he gapped me when it rained and then I caught it back up, but just couldn't get the move.
Was there any area on the circuit you were thinking about making the move and just weren't close enough when the time came?
Into the bridge, but it's never close enough. Really.
Well,
I did him once into the hairpin, but then he just got me back.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of that today with the two leaders. I think it was Pierce Packen and Walsh earlier on Sam Pooley. Realistically, can you overtake a similarly paced driver through there?
No, because they just get the cut back on you, and then it depends who gets it into the chicane, because then they've got it for the last sector, and then they've got it.
Fair enough. A top tip for any drivers watching at the minute: don't try and overtake through the hairpins under the bridge, is what we're saying, is it?
Yeah, that's a good one. Because at hairpins they just cut back, and then they've got you, unless you block them.
There we have it. Join us next time on BUKC for Sam Richardson's top tips. Sam, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll go and pick out another driver from this motley lineup once they have been weighed. If we just take a few steps back, Darren, we'll join the queue here. We have number 19 here. I'm not quite sure what team that is, but I'll grab the driver. And no, he's completely missed me. How rude. This young man here knows who we are. No one wants to chat. No one at all. Let's move further back. Let's just go down the pecking order and see who's further down here. Mr. Townsley spoke to us before the race. Let's find out how he got on. How was that for you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Had a bit of pace, but I didn't race that well. So, you know, the guys in front would battle. I'd catch them up, and then, you know, get caught from behind, and yeah.
Did you enjoy yourself though? Because I've heard if you have fun, then you won.
Smiles all around here, yeah.
Good, glad to hear it. I've forgotten who's under this helmet.
Lift the lid. Yeah.
Of course, it's Andreas.
That was a mess.
Sorry?
That was a mess. That was just a
What
mess.
happened? Tell me.
I just getting in. I got taken out at the bridge, and everything went downhill from there, and I couldn't catch up, and I got really frustrated.
Keep a cool head in these situations. Can you sort yourself out for the endurance this afternoon? Can you bring yourself back down to earth?
Yeah, we can bring it. We can bring it back. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a good 40 minutes of head down, good laps, clean laps, fast laps. Hope so.
Who are you sharing with this afternoon?
Mr. O'Toole. So he's
All
only
the
doing the beginning bit, and I'm doing the rest because I'm lighter than him. So it should work out, hopefully.
It's your turn on the scale, so I'll let you get on. We've just got a couple more drivers to be weighed in that one, and we shall be on to the next race. I see Tom Thickpenny lining himself up over there in the corner, and we've got a few more drivers at the back there. Let's have a quick chat with Tom whilst we're here. Tom, jump over with you. Where are we starting this race?
21st.
Not too great. Not too great. Most captains take the front runner positions for themselves, but you given that to Max Reed earlier.
Yeah, I thought Max would do a good job from there, and he did, to be fair. And James did amazing from the back row. So there's not too much pressure now because we've got 3 decent results. So just try and improve on one of them. So
We have seen a fair few drivers come from the very back to the very front. Can you repeat the feat?
I hope so. that's the aim. We've got Charlie in the B team as well, so hopefully we can work a bit together anyway. So just get through the first few corners. That's always the scary bit. But I gave you a pre-race interview.
Sorry?
I gave you a pre-race interview.
I was just thinking, actually, it's not normal. You're not in the cart yet, so I think that's what makes it all right, is it?
Yeah, just why not?
All right. Well, I think they've finished weighing now, so I will, as is custom, remove myself from your immediate vicinity. Drivers filtering in from the back will wait by here for the pole sitter to see what they have to say for themselves. It looks like no one was underweight in that last one. That was our last lightweight sprint, and this will be our final sprint of the day, the third and final heavyweights. Mr. Tom Fox is heading towards the front of the grid. He's picked up the number 1 plate from Sam Spinell. And is it pole position you're going for? He's just going to weigh himself. He's at the back. Wow, it's the task. I do know who is in pole position. It's Mr. Mark Cuthbert for De Montfort University. Mark, where's your number plate and transponder?
With the last race, I don't know.
You're the team captain. If anyone should know, it's you.
I've got minions to just turn up with it. Okay, I'm a princess.
Let's hope they do that whilst I'm talking to you then. You were down last week for a bit of practice. How did you get on?
Not too bad. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but hopefully today we'll be there.
Have you had a look around the field, see what helmets you can see? Anyone you reckon is going to trouble you for this one?
We'll see. There's a few. We'll see though. Hopefully I can just get there's been a few pole men who've got out and got away, so hopefully I can do that and we'll see how we do.
And it's especially cold here today. Is it always like this up north? Is this even up north?
This isn't up north, and it's not too bad. It's a wee bit windy, but it's not that cold.
This is one of the worst days of my life, Mark, in terms of how cold it is.
Nah, it's not too bad. This is definitely, it's not as bad as it was driving down, so it's fine.
You're a braver man than me. Have a good race. I'm sure I'll speak to you afterwards.
Cheers.
Mark Cuthbert, captain of the De Montfort team, formerly of a different Scottish university. But let's not call him a traitor. Let's move further back. Sam Faulkner seems to be jumping into this car. And I'm going to slide over this side and have a quick word with Sam. Tough field in this one?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't really looked around, to be honest.
Oh, I was asking, yeah. I haven't looked either. You haven't? We don't know. Neither of us know. Should we just guess? What do you reckon?
I was just guessing, to be honest, but yeah.
Can you beat Mark? Mark's the other driver I've spoken to. You got Tom Fox in here. I know Ben Street's in for Warwick A. A few decent race winners from past BUKC seasons. How do you match up with them?
I have no idea. I've never driven one of these around here, so
Have you driven around here, though?
I've done quite a lot of laps around here. Not in anything like this.
That should stand you in good stead. We've seen a number of people with a bit of experience in other Formula knocking around. Rory Smith's over there as well for Birmingham. I'm going to go have a chat with him in a minute. But Sam, can you win this race?
Hopefully. Who knows?
All right then. Bit of a indecisive answer. Let's have a quick chat with Rory Smith. I will knock Jacob Sullivan out of the way. Just give him a quick side of the hand like that. Lead, Rory. You need lead to get up to 82.
Yeah, a little bit of lead. I've had a heavy Christmas, but I've had a good pre-season ready for, you know, the BUKC.
And are you suitably prepared for the challenge ahead?
I think so. I've been consulting with my trainer, eating my healthy diets, going to the gym every day, so I think I'm ready. It should be a good one. It's always a laugh, so we'll see what happens.
How about this track? You got much experience around here?
I've done a bit in Rotax and a bit in X30, but I haven't been here for a few years, so hopefully I'll be able to blow the cobwebs away quite quickly, but we'll see. I don't know.
And it's not been the best day for Birmingham. Can you turn that around with this race?
I think that's putting it lightly. It's been abysmal. It's been so bad. I'll try my best. I think at this stage it's just a case of near the front finish will do, because it's just been so bad. It's been a bit unlucky, and you know, things haven't gone away, but it's not been the best so far.
Well, I can only hope it turns around for you. Have a good race, and I shall speak to you later.
Thank you very much.
Rory Smith there of Birmingham. Let's shuffle further back down the grid, see who we can find in the mid-pack. Stu Stretton, resident photographer. Let's have a chat with the 103. Who have we got here?
William Toon from Nottingham-Trent University.
Another Nottingham-Trent. Nottingham-Trent B, is it?
C.
C. I didn't realise Nottingham-Trent had 3 teams. Apologies for that. We've been talking a little bit about the potential for a rivalry between Nottingham and Nottingham-Trent. Any word on that?
Well, I think we definitely have the potential to beat them. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
Strong words. How's the day going for the C team in Nottingham-Trent? I've seen the A and B team doing well, obviously, hence the conversation. But how's the C team doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. You know, we've had our ups and downs, but hopefully I can pull something big out of the bag.
And what can you do yourself in this race?
Aiming for a top 15.
Ambitious. I like it. Thanks for chatting with us. Nottingham-Trent C there, doing incredibly well for themselves. I'm going to have a quick chat with Kyle Morby, because Brooks are doing incredibly well today, and I love having a chat with Kyle. Kyle.
Hello.
You're quite far back here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. The things you love to see.
I mean, Piers did incredibly well from this far back. You're further back than that. Can you match what he did?
I hope so. Else I shouldn't really be in the A team, should I?
Well, Brooks says the B team's better than the A team. Sometimes the C team's there. You're going to follow Mr. Pickpenny through?
Hopefully. And then get past at some point. That'd be nice.
Sounds like a plan. Kyle Morby there for Oxford Brooks A. I lose track of who's in what team these days. Tom Dent waved at me as if he wants a quick chat. Tom, you need to get in the cart, mate.
They didn't say get in the cart.
Everyone else is in the cart.
Well, I'm getting that.
There we have it, Mr. Tom Dent. We've got Sam Cobb, we've got Tom Fox, we've got Ben Street. Not enough time to talk to all of them. This is a very strong field. Andrew, Howard, back to you guys for the last sprint race of the day.
The knack is that we have to do the dance.
Yeah.
But then before they cut away from the stinger. Oh, yeah. Hello. We're going to go into the final race of round 1. Not the final race of the day at all. Don't go anywhere. But let's take you through the grid nice and quickly. Apologies if we get slightly ahead of the graphic, but we want to talk about some of the championship standings going into this last race. So on pole for this one is Mark Cuthbert for De Montfort A. I will wait until we have the grid graphic going on, if we have that one ready. There is Mark Cuthbert leading out the field in the De Montfort kart. He will start on pole for De Montfort A. Elliot Wilson will start alongside for York A. Swansea A will have Ryan Edwards going from third, with Michael Grieve starting for Manchester A alongside. There we go. Rory Smith for Birmingham A. And Sam Faulkner for Oxford make up row 3. Row 4 is going to be Connor Crickmore for Loughborough C and Oliver Davis for UEA. It's going to be Albert Legutko for Warwick B with Callum James for Brooks C on row 5. Row 6 is Max Wade for Birmingham C and George Warledge for Imperial A. Fran Gomez for Cambridge B and George Poulter for Sheffield A make up row 7, and row 8 is João Pinto for Coventry D and Brighton B's Ryan Denny. Moving on to row number 9, Kyle Knight will start for Newcastle B with Nathan Phillips alongside for Birmingham B. We've got a Uni of Life driver on the next row with Daniel Burgess for Brooks B alongside. Then it's Tom Thickpenny for Loughborough A and William Toon for Trent C. On row 11. Row 12 is Brooks A with Carl Morby at the wheel and Owen Byatt for Nottingham Trent A. Row 13 is going to be Charlie Bennett for Loughborough B and Fraser Glasby for Trent B. Jason Smith starts for Bournemouth A with Jarvis Devon for Exeter B alongside. Ben Street is still racing for Warwick A with Ainsley Martin alongside for UWTSD B to round out your top 30. Then it's Ben Hinchcliffe for Huddersfield B and Tom Dent for Leeds A. Row 17 is Cambridge A's Sam Cobb. It's not Sam Cobb though in this point, or is it actually Sam Cobb?
I think it actually is.
It actually is Sam Cobb, ladies and gentlemen, with Tom Fox alongside for Coventry A, and then rounding out the 36 carts, it is Pavlo Denisenko and Ezekiel James for Coventry B and Brighton A respectively. I just want to give a very quick mention to the weather because it's getting very interesting. I've given up using Honington. We're cross-referencing Honington and Claypole, and we're in the middle of it. All I can say is that Claypole is due rain in about 13 minutes, and Honington is due rain in about 30 minutes, and we're in the middle of it. So I'd be very surprised if we don't see rain at some point in the next half hour. Andrew.
Thank you. Just want to give a shout out to Pavlo Denisenko. He was a runner in the Rookies Series last year at the Farms. I remember him winning a race very, very well. So great to see him here in the mains.
Absolutely.
Showing that people can make that step up. Here's your situation. So this is all regards who can win what in round 1 of the 2020 British Universities Karting Championship. Let's start with the big one. Who can win overall? Actually, no. Who's the clubhouse leader? Pretend it's like golf. Clubhouse leader at the moment is Exeter A on 168. However, they have already had that score beaten, irrespective of what happens in the next 30 minutes, by Coventry A and Oxford Brooks A. They are both tied on 173 points with 1 win apiece, 1 fourth apiece and 1 fifth apiece. Loughborough A have also beaten that score. They're currently on 169 with 2 fourths and a 6th. So those 3 can win it. Also potentially in the mix mathematically, Nottingham Trent A, they're currently on 167 with a win, a 7th and an 8th. Cambridge A are also in it with 164 with a 3rd, a 5th and 11th. What's fascinating, Howard, is all 5 of those who can mathematically win, the highest starting of any of them is Loughborough A in 21st. They are all coming from the back of the grid. That is going to be a lot of fun. I want to talk Clubman as well, though. As it stands, very, very close. As we mentioned in the last race, currently top Clubman team is Brighton A with a guaranteed minimum of 152. They start this race 36th. Nottingham Trent B are second in Clubman on 151. They start 26th. Also mathematically able to beat that 152 if Brighton A have a complete mare are Sheffield A, currently on 133 but have a max possible 165. Cambridge B, currently sat on 129 but a max possible 154. They start 14th and 13th respectively, those 2 teams. And UEA also have a mathematical chance of winning Clubman. They sit on 125 with a max possible 157. It's asking a lot, but we've seen this kind of thing before, and UEA do start 8th. So you've got a fascinating situation. All of our contenders for the overall winner starting from the back. We've got Clubman leaders starting from the middle to the back, and then chasers in Clubman actually starting more towards the front. I think this is going to be a very, very intriguing race. And you've got teams that I haven't mentioned there with good drivers out there, the likes of Birmingham, the likes of Manchester, the likes of De Montfort A. I think this one is going to get a little bit tasty, mate.
So I'm just going to tick that off for my benefit as much as the viewers. In the hunt for trends is Brooks A, Nottingham Trent A, not necessarily in this order, Nottingham Trent A, Cambridge A, Loughborough A and Exeter A.
No, Exeter A gone.
Okay, sorry. Who was the last of those 5? Cobb A. Of course it is. And then Clubman's is between Brighton A, Nottingham Trent B, Sheffield A, Cambridge B, and University of West of England A. So those are the teams to pay particular attention to. But right now, we have a race starting prospect with Mark Cuthbertson on pole for De Montfort A, Elliot Wilson alongside for York in the number 86 car, Ryan Edwards of Swansea A, and Michael Grebe of Manchester A on row 2. David Whitehouse, for the last time this round, pulls to one side, eyes on the lights, engine notes rise, and we're away for race number 6. It's a good start from the anti-pole side of the grid. Look for Elliot Wilson trying to go for the lead of this one. There's a card off there to driver's left who's been spun around. As you say, Andrew, a bit of loading there. Another card off towards the back here, and someone's on the grass. Ooh. We've got a kart round. That is one of the scruffier starts. Perhaps not the scruffiest, but a scruffier start there through 1 and 2, and we may be looking out for any warnings from race control. Still Mark Cuthbertson at the lead, but going for second place here is Birmingham A's Rory Smith. Birmingham need a good result here, and he's down the inside of the 36 of Swansea with Ryan Edwards, but there's drama behind them. This is not the tidiest at all here as they work their way to hairpin 2. They all get going again though. Still Mark Cuthbertson leads this one as they come into hairpin 2. You can see a Tom Thickpenny trying to pick his way through very carefully amidst all this drama in the Loughborough A effort in this one.
Spinner might have been the number 33 of Loughborough C. We'll try and work that out in a moment, but Cuthbert leading from Smith. Oh, down the inside there. A real big attack coming in from, I think that is the number 36 of Swansea A, is it not? The number 28 now up the inside, that's Oxford, who have had race victories in previous years before in the BUKC, so a cross start finish at the end of lap 1. De Montfort A lead, Birmingham A second, Oxford third, Swansea A fourth, Birmingham C up there in fifth.
Brooks A up 15 positions on lap 1, Andrew, as were Loughborough B. Big movers there on the first lap. Those who've had dramas, Sheffield A rather takes them out the Clubman's running by having a drama there. Brooks B are at the back, so they've had a drama. Huddersfield B and Brighton B also with poor starts there.
Leaders coming down into hairpin 1 then. Contact warning for the number 36 of Swansea A. So very topsy-turvy start there, with some of our usual contenders already starting to progress through the field. It is Ryan Edwards driving for Swansea A this time around. Michael Grebe as well in there for Manchester A, where have they started? No, they're not too bad in there in 6th place, but still Cuthbert here. Mark Cuthbert and Rory Smith on the inside. Block pass attempt there from Rory Smith. Caught Cuthbert out there and got the move done. Sam Faulkner, we've seen him many times before in the BUKC. The distinctive Birillard suit. Is he now going to have a go at Cuthbert down the pit straight past us in the comms box, going for second place into the first chicane? Oh, contact between Faulkner and Cuthbert popped up a little bit there and just about survived. Rory Smith meanwhile is gone. Look at Tom Thickpenny, last year's driver of the year at the BUKC Awards, is already on the charge here for Loughborough A, already up into the top 10 as they stream down from the Lichfield Bridge. It's Birmingham A leading from Oxford. And Carl Morby's here as well. There he is in the distinctive, strangely distinctive, even though it's not that a pattern thing.
Distinguished.
The black suits, the white helmet, the TKM logo. Here is Morby on the scene.
Yeah.
And this is big now, because of course this is all about who's going to win this round. So we've got Loughborough A up there, Brooks A up there. Where are Coventry? I haven't seen them yet, Howard.
They're in 16th place, mate.
Ooh, they're lagging behind a little bit then. They are lagging behind. Now, what we should say, though, is this is where all the drop scores stuff comes in. Because for Coventry to improve their score, and Brooks A to improve their score, actually, they've got to finish 4th or higher. Otherwise, they'll stay on 173. Loughborough, to improve their score, they've got to finish 5th or higher.
We should mention the driver who's at the wheel of the Coventry A kart, though, Andrew. It's Tom Fox, a driver who some of our viewers may associate more with Aston University in the past. There's more battling going on this time. Mark Cuthbert is under attack from Ryan Edwards in that Swansea A kart, which was actually happening last lap until Kyle Morby arrived on the scene. He actually had a good run on Mark Cuthbert last lap, but this time he's having a go around the hairpins. The 26 of Manchester A is in there as well. That's with Michael Grebe at the wheel. They were going 3 wide into hairpin 2. Somehow Mark Cuthbert is still battling away in amongst all of this. Difficult to tell in this shot with the light, but that looks to me like that's gone.
Contact. That's Michael Green being forced off.
That is Michael Green being forced off, but he comes back to attack.
Where are Cambridge A, mate?
Cambridge A, I'm going to check that one for you, mate. They're in 23rd.
I think they're falling out of contention then to win this one. Coventry A, how are they getting on? They are up to 12th. They've just swapped positions with their D team. So currently, if things were to finish as they are, Oxford BUKC would win round 1 of the BUKC. Let's keep an eye on our clubmans as well. Change for the lead. Sam Faulkner ahead of Rory Smith coming down into hairpin number 1. So that must have happened at the top end of the circuit because Rory had the lead cross start finish by 0.5 of a second. So, there's a spinner down there. Is that the number 64, 54, might be 74? I couldn't quite work it out with the focus there. But Sam Faulkner, if it was 54, it's Birmingham C, and that's about the right position.
Yeah, I think
that's
it was
a real
54.
shame for Birmingham C that they've fallen down there.
We'll double check
Max
it.
Wade in for them at the moment.
Yeah, because if it's the number 74, that will be Trent B, which would have quite a significant round. It is the 54. It is Birmingham. So drama for them. We are watching Tom Thickpenny and Loughborough B. Now this is critical, Andrew, for Loughborough. They have a rear gunner in the form of Charlie Bennett. It is Charlie Bennett in the wheel for the Loughborough B car. So Loughborough here, the 2 and the 6, working together here to work their way up the field. That could be crucial for them, as Mark Cuthbert still has the attentions of Swansea A's Ryan Edwards as they come over the bridge. Number 7 of Brookside, Carl Morby, has just broken away from all this, trying to reel in our top 2 teams. That might be a story to develop over the next lap. In fact, I can see out the window, actually, Carl Morby really reeling in Rory Smith and Sam Faulkner at the front of this.
Carl Morby doing absolutely what he needs to do here. He's now, having gained 3rd position, Oxford BUKC, as it stands, 175 points. Nobody can beat that as it stands. He's doing the business. We talked about those 5 teams. Coventry, Brooks, Loughborough, Trent and Cambridge, all of their A teams starting below 20th place on the grid. It was all going to be about which one of those could pull their way through the field the cleanest and the quickest, and so far that has been Carl Morby. There he is with Rory Smith in his sights now, and the number 4 Birmingham A car, who have not had a good morning at all. At least if they could finish in the top 3 here, they'd recover a good number of points, but they really do need to start picking up points in terms of the championship quickly, otherwise it's going to turn into a very dissatisfactory season for the Birmingham team. Last year's 4th placed team in the final standings.
Yeah. Owen Byatt having a good drive as well for Trent A in 8th at the moment. He's worked his way through the field. Another one of our teams in contention for the round, but not enough at the moment, but another one of the teams that's had to work their way from the back. Here is your lead battle then that's brewing away nicely. Sam Faulkner there for Oxford, Rory Smith for Birmingham A in the number 4, and then behind them an ever closing Kyle Morby in the number 7. Then further back from us, the 16 of De Montfort A, with Mark Cuthbert at the wheel, our pole sitter for this race, with Ryan Edwards with him for Swansea A, and Loughborough A and B behind, and as I mentioned, Trent A also closing.
Keep an eye out for one of our very own, Fraser Gladsby, is up to 16th place for Nottingham Trent B. That is significant. Why? It means they are now on 154 points and leading in Clubman. And what is going on down at hairpin 2,
There's
Howard?
a driver off, Andrew. Driver off to driver's right. Very similar to what we saw earlier on. And we're going to catch the cart as they get started here.
Number 81.
Which makes it Cambridge B.
Apologies, we just heard that Trent B have fallen 4 places. It's not them, the number 81.
No,
but
it's
they
Cambridge
are now,
B.
It's Cambridge B that fell down, but Trent B have fallen 4 places, down to 20. That means they are now behind on points Brighton A, sorry. Brighton A are down in like 30th place, so unfortunately they're not going to improve their score here. They need to finish 18th or higher to do that. But if Gladsby can pull these positions back, he's still got a chance of winning Nottingham Trent B, the Clubman Trophy for round 1. Still as he were at the front, Oxford from Birmingham from Brooks A, 1, 2, 3.
Penalties for Huddersfield B, forcing a driver wide, that's 4 positions. Penalty for Brooks C, ABC, that's 4 positions. As well as, look at this battle coming on to the start-finish straight. Thickpenny through up into 4th place, and Charlie Bennett following through as well for Loughborough B. Nottingham, Trent A and Manchester A. This is, again, not a lot of field spread here, it has to be said. Still plenty of ground that could be made up by some of these drivers trying to work their way through the field, as that is Sam Cobb for, I have to tell myself, this is Sam Cobb in Cambridge A we saw there chasing Warwick B. That's taking some reconfiguration. There's battle for the lead coming into hairpin 2. It's change. Rory Smith is past Sam Faulkner, heading towards the chicane in the middle of the circuit, as we try and pick that one up for you. Coming into the latter part of the lap now, but Carl Morby is right with them as well. Try and pick them up here as they're coming through the last. Sorry, this is down at hairpin 2, isn't it? We're watching a battle there between. This is. Just trying to pick up. The number 23 is involved in this.
Loughborough A coming into the battle now, up to 4th place. 171 points for them at the moment.
Lead battle, sorry Andrew, just coming up round to the bridge now. The Litchfield Bridge, and across the bridge now.
We're having a look here at the number 32 and the 74. This is Gladsby. This is the Trent B kart. This is the battle for Clubman across start finish, and Gladsby's now up to 19th place. What does that do? That he needs 2 more positions. 2 more positions to get through, because at the moment Brighton A would take a tiebreaker, courtesy of Martin Matchak's 2nd place in the very first race of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep an eye on this one.
So to be clear, race 6 is the final race of round 1. Each team has contested 4 of them, or will have done by the end of this race, and the best 3 of those 4 count towards your score. So if you're a University of West of England fan, when you saw that puncture or whatever issue it was that put the driver on the side of the road, that can be a dropped score. So it's not over for those teams. That's why they're in contention, for example, for that Clubman class victory. As the lead battle goes on to a new lap, I can report. Still Rory Smith for Birmingham A ahead of Oxford and Oxford Brooks A.
All those chasing teams that I talked about earlier for Clubman, disregard them, because I think they're all towards the back end yet. So it is just a straight fight now. Can Gladsby find his way through? He's got to get past Coventry B and Loughborough C. If he does that, Nottingham Trent, not too far from Nottingham as well, take a round win in the Clubman's class. 12 minutes to go, so we've just gone past halfway in this one. Birmingham A still leading from Oxford University and Oxford Brooks A.
Trent A have been able to break up the Loughborough battering ram, so good move there for 5th place from
so that's Trent A.
Owen Byatt and Thickpenny. Bear with me on that one, actually. I'm going to check, because I think it's changed again since they last crossed the line.
Here we're looking at I think this is the battle again involving Nottingham Trent. It is B. Now that is then behind Loughborough C. So where have Coventry D gone? Just going to track them as they come round. There are Coventry. So Coventry D have got down the road a little bit further. So things moving around there. Can Fraser Gladsby, there he is, find a way past Loughborough C? This could be the bottleneck.
Just want to follow up on the battle, mate. Nottingham Trent have got up to 4th. Loughborough have gone down to 6th. They ran wide, did Tom Thickpenny.
Yeah. So again, that's good news for Oxford Brooks A in terms of trying to win the round. Because they're looking pretty comfortable at the moment, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, because whilst both Trent A and Loughborough A were in contention for this round, or are, they're not the right way round to challenge Brooks at the moment. So
Cambridge coming back into it, but still need to do more.
No, well, they've just got a penalty for multiple track limits, so that won't help. So that's 2 positions to be deducted from their effort come the end of this race.
Keep an eye on Trent A as well, because at the moment I think I've got them down as 3rd overall, so this could be a double bit of success for Nottingham Trent, who came into the season with a lot of confidence as, who was that down, was diving down the inside, couldn't quite work that one out. Back with, that's just on the outskirts of the top 10.
Yeah, battle for 7.
Tom Fox with Coventry A there, the number 1. At the moment, this isn't going to be the win that Coventry A would have hoped for at the start of the day. Change from 14th, Warwick B have got past Exeter B. Trent B still there in 19th place. Remember, they need 2 more positions to beat Brighton A's total in this first round of the BUKC 2020 to take early honours in the clubman's class. There are the 3 leaders, still as you were. Don't worry about them. Birmingham, Oxford and BUKC. Carl Morby more than happy at the moment to just sit there. Doesn't need to take any risks. He will know the situation. One of the most experienced drivers in this field. Will know that he's clear of the likes of Coventry and Loughborough. They'll also know that these 2 drivers are needing a lot of points, so no time, it's not the time to do anything silly. Saying that, he's just set the fastest lap of the race, so 1 minute 10.678. Faulkner looking a bit racy now, looking left, looking right, trying to find a way past Rory Smith. Few changes in the bottom half of the top 10. Manchester A and De Montfort A have got up to 7th. Manchester A up to 7th. Yeah. De Montfort A down to 8th.
Coventry A just got themselves into the top
Warwick
10 as well, past Swansea A.
Warwick B just fell down a few positions. There is this, I say, there's the bottleneck just ahead of Gladbury. Down the inside, here comes Faulkner on Smith. Pod to pod, through turn, through the second hairpin, and through goes Faulkner. Will Morby get the chance to take second place as well away from Birmingham? Yes, he will. And Carl Morby for Oxford Brookes A goes up into second place, further extending the lead in this round for Oxford Brookes A. It's been a while since Oxford Brookes A's entry has had this kind of glory in a round. We mentioned earlier, they've often played second fiddle to the B team, such as the squad depth at Brookes.
Do not be fooled by the balmy sunshine that you can see, folks. The wind is picking up again here at the track.
And down the inside for the lead, there goes Morby into turn 3. Did he get it done? Yes, he did. And Rory Smith fighting back now as well. So Sam Faulkner loses 2 positions, but it's now Oxford Brookes A. Kyle Morby leading. Birmingham second. Oxford third. Big move in clubman. Birmingham B have got past Nottingham Trent B. So it's 3 positions on the road that Trent B now need to take the win in clubman. Brighton A, I think, are they still down at about 30th, mate?
They've been moving a little bit, mate. They are now up to... Oh, no. They moved up to 28th and then dropped back down to 31st. Yeah, so they're in battles down there.
In terms of their extent or getting more points from this round, this particular race, you can forget about that. They're going to finish on 152. 7 minutes to go. The battle for the podium, Trent A still looking good. They're on for 170 points. In fact, the battle for 5th place on the road may well be a battle for 3rd place on the podium at the end of the round. Traffic now for the leaders. Is this an opportunity for Rory Smith to fight back against Kyle Morby? Kyle Morby will look to the inside of the number 81, calm as you like down the inside. Although the 81 is fighting back, may not be aware that this is the leaders coming through. Kyle Morby gives him a little look to say, don't try anything silly, son, and it has the desired effect. Lap times from these drivers really, really strong as well. Currently fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 10.678, which is not far off what the fastest lap in the lightweights race was in the previous heat, which was a 1 minute 10.64. Hashtag Fatgate, just saying. 6 minutes of this one to go. Birmingham B have got past Loughborough C now, keeping an eye on that clubman situation.
I've been quiet, mate, tracking the weather.
What are you seeing?
Really strong possibility of rain, possibly haily, snowy stuff coming in from the north.
Well, the BBC did say 2 o'clock.
It did. If you're in...
Oh, Smith has a little look there down the inside of Morby into hairpin number 1. Cone penalty for Brighton B, the number 50. Fairly inconsequential. Where have Trent gone?
Well, Loughborough have just got by Trent A on that last lap.
We're talking different Trents.
Oh, we're talking different Trents.
Trent B down to 23rd. Trent B down to 23rd. This is not good news at all for Fraser Gladsby. It's very good news, though, for Brighton A. And as you say, 5 minutes to go. If there's a sudden deluge of rain, I don't think this race is over. More traffic for the leaders to deal with.
I think we're being protected by... I think the wind is carrying it away from us.
Oh, my goodness me. The 54 actually dealt with that quite well. Did not realise that Birmingham and Oxford were coming through there as the leaders and dived out of that one.
That's Birmingham C.
OK, that makes sense as why you jump out the way of your team leader. In fact, that was a very good run over the bridge there for Rory Smith. Is he going to go for a move down the inside of Kyle Morby? Yes, he is. Sam Faulkner trying to find his way through as well. And Morby, what a defence that was! Deep on the brakes, round the outside. Faulkner's now involved. They're nearly 3 wide as they go into hairpin 2. Great defence. Deep on the brakes there was Kyle Morby.
Loughborough B playing a team game. They've just allowed Loughborough A to come through, so Loughborough A now up into 4th place. So they're trying to do everything they can to get the points, but it's not going to be enough at the moment for Loughborough A.
And crucially, ahead of Nottingham Trent A.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen it in seasons previous. I know we're not talking about Championship much today, but I know it will be in the mindset of some of these teams. We've seen this championship decided by a point here, a point there in years gone by.
Well,
and if Loughborough A can take that 3rd place of the round and beat Trent A to it, that is worth a point.
Yeah.
So absolutely spot on from B. But
look
on the inside, here goes Rory Smith attacking Carl Morby again, and this time he's got him. He's got him. And Birmingham A back to the front now. He's going to go defensive. Hard drivers right to keep Carl Morby behind. Sam Faulkner's still there as well. Trent A have got back ahead of Loughborough now.
Rory Smith is going to have to go super defensive here against Carl Morby and Sam Faulkner. Look at this, side by side into hairpin 2. Sam Faulkner's going to try and get good enough drive to take second off Carl Morby, but he's not going to have enough, I don't think. He's going to try anyway down the inside. Carl Morby tries to hang around. He goes onto the grass. Cross country for Kyle Morby. And he definitely doesn't want that to happen, because coming down the road is Loughborough A in 4th place. He manages to keep it going, though.
Contact warning for Oxford.
For
Okay,
Oxford
I don't think there was much wrong that Sam did there.
No.
He had a line on the inside for me.
I think that was, in many ways, I did feel that was Kyle's to relinquish and fight another day. Or fight another corner, let's say, as it is.
Right. It's still not a bad situation. Oh, change for 4th. Trent A have got back ahead of Loughborough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that hands 3rd place of the round, I think, back to Trent A.
To Owen Byatt. I don't think we've mentioned him much, but battling away with Tom Thickpenny out there. It's a fantastic battle going on between those two. Here they are. There is the 17. Owen Byatt at the wheel of the Trent A car ahead of Tom Thickpenny, but crucially, he still has the support, does Thickpenny, from behind in the form of Charlie Bennett in that Loughborough B car in the number 6. So this one might not be run yet. We cut back to the lead battle. If these two start battling, they will absolutely take themselves back into the running with Kyle Morby. But who is that off?
It's a black suit and a white helmet.
It didn't look like a Kyle Morby-shaped human being, but
no,
there's Kyle Morby.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. This battle, ferocious here, and you can see the Loughborough B kart in there as well, the number 6.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to help. Last lap board is out then. And Sam Faulkner has just set the fastest lap of the race, so 1 minute 10.633. That's gone quicker than the lightweights did, half an hour ago. And the conditions haven't really changed on the inside. There goes Tom Thickpenny. Did he get the move done? I think it was actually on the back marker.
No, that was it. It was the Trent A managed to put a back marker between themselves and Loughborough, and Thickpenny had to shoot the gap if he wanted to have any chance to be in touching distance by the end of the lap. But even so, it's held him up slightly. It was on Sheffield A who was the backmarker. And I doubt they were aware that it was this battle. We cut back to the lead battle. Rory Smith still defending hard against Sam Faulkner here. Kyle Morby is going to have some special happenings here for him to be able to catch up to these two now. Coming into the latter part of the lap, is there anything for Sam Faulkner against Rory Smith? And is there anything further back? We need to keep an eye on the lead here as they're coming round to finish this. It's still Rory Smith who's going to come round here. And my goodness, didn't Birmingham need something to pick up their day as he's going to cross the line? Is he dragged to the line here? But it's just going to be Rory Smith for Birmingham A by 44 thousandths of a second from Sam Faulkner for Oxford. Kyle Morby crosses the line crucially for Brooks A in third, with Trent A in fourth. That means that Brooks has done it by our everything we say now is provisional, of course.
Someone's broken down.
Someone has broken down
on hairpin 2, but no, Oxford Brooks A by our calculations take the first round in the BUKC 2020. We're waiting to see where is the number 74. There is Fraser Gladsby. It's not going to be enough, unfortunately, for Nottingham Trent B. It's 22nd in this race for them, which means by our calculations Brighton A, provisionally of course, Brighton A win in Clubman, and that is a brilliant result for them. Second place overall we think will go to Coventry A. Not really anything to write home about there in that final race for Tom Fox and the boys, and this is very provisional. Nottingham Trent A, do we see any penalties for them? Can't remember off the top of my head, but if they've taken fourth place, that means they've finished on 171. If Loughborough A have taken fifth, they finish on 170. So Nottingham Trent A provisionally take the third and final podium spot. Trent B will still take second podium spot, and then I think we're looking at Manchester Metropolitan possibly. That is very, very, very provisional because we're not running the maths fully on it, but not Manchester Met potentially got third place in Clubman and the round as well. We're going to head down into the pit lane. Jacob Harris is down there waiting for us. Over to you, mate.
Sizzling stuff from Sprint Race 6. Our leaders are just being weighed behind me. Sam Faulkner has jumped on the scales first, just ahead of Rory Smith. Quick shake of the hand. Sam, just had a bit too much for you in the end?
It's the toe, you can't get away at all. You can gain 5 cardless on someone and then they're back on you by the time you go onto the bridge. So it was a good race, I thought. So
he's just disappearing behind you. Rory, come on over here. In fact, Sam, you jump on one side. Rory getting the other. And Kyle will join us in a minute. You keen to take your helmet off, I can tell. It's an intense race, Rory.
Yeah, hard work for that. Definitely hard work.
Go on, get your helmet. And Kyle, come and join us. Rory, careful not to take the rest of your kit off. Rory, come on in. Come and tell me how you managed that.
A lot of thought. You have to use your head so much because it's so windy. Sorry, my eyes are screwed. Because it's so windy, you just gotta pick where you do certain things. Like I was really struggling compared to both these boys at the hairpins and the chicane in the middle. For whatever reason, must have just been driving crap or something. But when it came to the spoon and up the top, I definitely had the edge on them. So I just knew that I had to defend out of those corners, otherwise they'd get me. But I could sort of drive freely everywhere else. Especially on the last lap, I knew both of them were going to try do the cut back into the second hairpin. So I just broke a little bit early so they couldn't do that and just cover myself off. Yeah, like I say, it's just a lot of thinking and it's a very mental sport. It's not like just do or die. So yeah.
Decisive moment in the race was when you came back at this man, Kyle, when he was in the lead a few laps from the end. Tell us a bit about that move.
I can't actually remember where I got you. Where did I get back past you? Do you remember?
Hairpins, wasn't it? Under the bridge?
No, it was into the left at the top of the bridge. Just because he ran a bit wide, so I thought, now's my opportunity, so I just went for it. Yeah, I tried at the hairpin, and that was a stupid move, and I tried to back out too late, and it almost ended up in a coming together, but luckily he was clever enough to see that happen, so he left a bit of space. Yeah, but no, it was a good race.
Congratulations on your win. We'll have a quick chat with Kyle. Cheers, Rory. Kyle, excellent drive from the back, but as I said, that move when he came back at you was proved to be your undoing, and a quick trip across grass ended your chances of winning that one.
It's not proper karting if you don't cut the lawn at some point. I mean, I'm doing them a favour. I think I should ask for a bit of money for that. I think I did quite a good job. What do you think?
I'd at least be asking for £10 for that little patch that you mowed down. Decent race from you otherwise, though, and you did at one point look to have it in hand.
Yeah. The toe is such a big thing around here. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I thought I had a gap, but then I felt a nudge just going into the first corner. I was like, oh, I've not done enough here. But it's hard to pull away once you're at the front, just because of the wind. As you know, it's quite bad.
A great race nonetheless, though.
Yes, yeah, it was good fun, to be fair. It was a good race.
And a strong result for Oxford Brookes. That looks like you've tied up the round.
I was going to say, is that I had that in the back of my mind. I know I had to beat Coventry, was it?
Which you did.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue where they were, so I was hoping it wasn't the two chaps in front, so that's good. That's good news.
Andrew and Howard seem to think you tied up the round. We'll confirm that at the podium later, but congratulations anyway on a great race.
Cheers, Jacob. Thank you.
Kyle Morby there of Oxford Brookes A, so close to winning that one, but unfortunately falling towards the end of the race. That's it for this live stream. We'll be back in about 15-20 minutes with another one for round 2 of the BUKC 2020, and that will be endurance racing. Join us again on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Alpha Live's website, alphalive.co.uk/BUKC. We will be back after a quick break for lunch. Goodbye.